Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim. We are with you for the next 3 hours. Kyle Glazer, formerly Baseball America, no longer. He will join us coming up at 4:30. We react to yesterday's win for the Padres. Look ahead to tonight, game 2 of a 4-game series. We'll hear from Sean Lewis coming up as well. We have San Diego State tickets to give away for Saturday. Our pregame coverage will begin at 3, kickoff at 5. Me and Rich on the call. Jim will be there.
Breaking news,
what? Who the hell knows? I think tweeting, posting on Instagram.
Mostly,
I can't wait for your first dumb tweet.
I don't know if you realize this, but I'm part of a radio sports talk show in San Diego.
What show is that? Who do you work for?
Have you heard of the Jon and Jim show?
I like that show.
It's okay. It's good.
One of those hosts is really good.
Yeah, I like one of those hosts. Their name starts with the letter J.
You're going to go there as a representative for Jon and Jim.
Well, where I was going with this is, since, I have a sports talk show in town.
You do?
I want to go there and I want to watch the first game of the Sean Lewis era. So when we talk about it Monday, I can be like, oh, I watched it in person and I actually sound like I know what I'm talking about. Even if I am not there, I want to be there.
Well, a couple of things. You being there is not going to make you sound like you know what you're talking about.
That's correct.
No, it probably will. I'm waiting for your first tweet when it's like scoreless with like 11:59 to play in the first quarter. Like, what's going on here?
No, I will not do that.
Wow.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
But I want to watch in person the first game of Sean Lewis's coaching career here at San Diego State. Not his first game as a head coach, but his first game here at San Diego State. I also want to watch in person Danny O'Neill, the true freshman. I want to see how he plays in his first game in college and his first game starting for the Aztecs. So there's more reasons to go than just to go to do nothing. I'm there to do something. I'm there to watch the game so I can talk about it on Monday.
All right, credential denied. No, I'm kidding. Jim will be there Saturday. I'll be there. Who's going? 70470. Start it with team. We're giving away tickets. In fact, I think we're going to give away tickets this hour. We'll hear from Sean Lewis this hour. So if you want San Diego State football tickets, don't go anywhere. We'll give them away this hour right here on Jon and Jim. I think yesterday was more of the same from the Padres, which is a great thing. It's hard to believe this, Jim. They're 25-8 in their last 33 games.
Is that good?
Over that length of time, that's got to be one of the 2 or 3 better stretches they've ever had. That's better than 750 baseball for 5+ weeks. They're 25-8. Yesterday, early lead. Randy Vasquez, good enough. I love when the controversy coming out of a win is, they used Robert Suarez with a 4-run lead. Man, I'm surprised they went to Tanner Scott there. If that's the worst thing going on right now, then they've had a splendid second half, and that is the quote-unquote worst thing going on right now. Oh, is Suarez going to be available today? He's pitched the last 2 days. They used him in a 4-run game, Jim.
You didn't mention the fact that Luis Ariz didn't draw a walk again.
Oh, is that right? Was that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
He didn't draw a walk?
He didn't draw a walk again.
That's kind of like
I don't even know if the game should even count.
Lose a war.
Does that game even count because he didn't draw a walk?
Yeah, that's tough to stomach.
It really is.
Imagine if they win like the NLDS, but Ariz doesn't have a walk in the entire series.
Or even a hit.
But they win the series.
What if they win the World Series and Ariz continues to not draw walks?
Oh, my gosh. Just think about that.
I mean, there will be at least one person in town that'll be very upset about it.
I hate the fake outrage.
It's so
honestly,
fake.
I honestly do. It's like, guys, they're 25-8. And by the way, guys, 99% of you agree with us. Yep. 99% of people are like, hey, this team's doing everything right. I trust Mike Shildt with his bullpen. I trust this lineup because it produces. I trust the starting. I just trust the team. Mm-hmm. So I think 99% of people are in lockstep. I understand if you have some fear that, this may not continue for the rest of the year, or, what if this all of a sudden, blows up in our faces, so to speak. But how can you not like what's happened here? We keep saying that. It's deja vu all over again. If the worst thing going on is Luis Ariz not walking and Robert Suarez pitching in a 4-run game, then they're going to win this division at the end of the day, probably.
Things are going pretty well.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing, is getting the win. We can talk about how they got there. And obviously last night, to me, felt like one of those games where you get the 2-run homer in the first inning from Manny, and it was like, that's over. I mean, they are virtually unbeatable when they score first. They're now 55-11 this year when they score first. Last night they scored first. They put 7 runs on the board. Fairly easy win. Not a lot of stress. People are maybe concerned why Robert Suarez and Tanner Scott were out there. To me, Mike Shilt's going for the win. He has these guys that are available. What are you not going to use them? And it wasn't like it was a 15-2 game. Like,
it's a 1-swing, 4-run game.
Right.
You never know.
So
3-batter minimum. What if something bad happens?
We're going to make sure we lock this thing down and we don't have anything like kind of crazy happen. And if Suarez is available after only throwing like 8 pitches or 10 pitches on Sunday, then go back out there.
Because what's the alternative? I think Shildt has PTSD from a 5-run blown lead in Colorado in April, which is completely understandable. They led a game 9-4 and they lost. Most teams this year will lose a lead in the 9th inning. But like, let's say you went elsewhere. You turn to Yuki Matsui. He's been very good. You turn to Sean Reynolds. He's been very good. And all of a sudden, 2 of the first 3 reach. Or the game gets tied up. Or the tying runs in scoring position with 1 out in the 9th inning. What are people going to be saying then? Well, you could have gone to Suarez. You could have gone to Tanner Scott. At the end of the day, it's a business of winning. How many times have you heard us say that? And what they did yesterday was win. And we don't know what's going to happen today. How do we know they're going to lead in the 9th inning today? They did lead in the 9th inning yesterday. That was a guarantee. We don't know what's going to happen today. So they had the guarantee of yesterday, a lead late. Today, we don't know what's going to happen.
No, we don't. And they have Dylan Cease on the mound. You have faith that Dylan Cease can give you some innings here. And your bullpen is so deep that, let's just say, on paper right now, Scott and Suarez are unavailable. All right. Well, because of how deep your bullpen is, you have Reynolds, you have Estrada, you have Adam, you have Matsui. If you can get 6 innings out of Dylan Cease, with a lead, I think those 4 guys I just named off there can get you 9 outs.
100%.
Like, I think they can do it. You know, Jason Adams closed out games this season. Jeremiah Estrada has closed out games this season. Hoeing is another guy that is becoming a real weapon for this team. Matsui is pretty consistent for you. And Reynolds is a guy that kind of came out of nowhere where you're like, whoa, that guy's some good stuff. So you got to realize that they are still in, like, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Now the sprint's coming up here pretty quickly, but they have the pieces where you don't have to be like, okay, we need Robert Suarez every single time out. You don't need Robert Suarez every single time out. And hopefully tonight you win 5-0. I don't know. Like, then you don't have to worry about it.
You just can't worry about it. You can't worry about tomorrow today.
No,
you
can't worry about the
can't manage for
now.
It's a bad managing job. If you're managing for tomorrow, then you're doing a disservice to your team. All right, we have Aztec tickets we'll give away this hour. Let's hear from Mike Shildt. This was post-game yesterday, talking about Randy Vasquez, who, by the way, gave you the 6 innings. Wasn't the prettiest thing, but he gave you the 6 innings. He talks about his bullpen usage. How about Manny Machado homering, getting closer to that Padres franchise record? Here was Mike Shildt postgame.
Probably couldn't expect more or out of Vasquez. What he gave you?
Yeah, Randy was really good. You know, he got better as the game went for sure. He battled a little bit to start innings. They would, navigate some traffic. And then at 5th and 6th were absolutely huge. To pitch with the lead, get us deeper in the game, set us up well moving forward. So just a great job by Randy to step up and grab 6 innings.
Obviously, given what you've been through for 10 games, 11 games now, and you got 8 to go, and 5 1/3 yesterday by the bullpen. Like, when he was going right there in the middle, where they were starting to get to him, it looked like a different game. You were starting to plan a little differently, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, us being able to add on runs are huge. So once we're able to open it up, Jackson the big 2-out knock for 2 RBIs, another great at bat, against the lefty for another 1-out RBI, and once we open it up, go get him, and he went to attack mode.
What do you think of the night Manny had?
I'm glad you brought it up because sometimes we can just alibi it happened early, but man, what a nice evening. Took some very good bats, a big swing in the first to get us on the board. Nice play defensively. He played a very, very good baseball game.
Like you talked about staying even keel and all the things this tank does, but does it feel a little different as you get close to September and you guys are in the spots you're in fighting, for a playoff spot every single day?
Yeah, no, I mean, we just normalize playing today. We normalize every day being important. And so, we're just going to take care of our business today and go take advantage of the opportunities that are out there and go compete together and prepare and execute. Speaking of that, the base run and the tag on with the rise in profile. That was a tremendous play. Set us up for, a few add-ons, but great at bat by Crony, but really good base running to tag right there to get second and third with Louis and Pro.
What a treat. We heard alibi and normalize in the same 2-minute clip from Mike Shildt. He's used normalize a lot more in the second half, and that's coincided with 25 and 8.
You know what he has, and this is like a compliment for sure to him, is his memory is so good.
See, I love that, honestly, in a manager. Like when I watch a game in full, not to compliment myself, but I will.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the type of thing. When I watch a game, I'm going to remember everything from the game. Now, the next day, I forgot it all.
Yes.
But like if I'm going to watch a college football game, I remember all the drives. Oh, yeah, second drive, they moved the ball, but then they missed the field goal wide right.
Watching,
yeah, and baseball, I'm the same way with it. But Shilt's always been that. Like he's so locked in, man. He loves it.
He does. He knows every single play that happened in that game. And I bet you if you asked him post game, can you recite that whole game? And there was like time to do it. I bet you he could.
He's pretty good with it. Yeah.
I bet you could be like, yeah, that second inning, base hit by so-and-so.
Yeah. Through the right side.
To the right side. Yeah. So-and-so made a nice play on it, blah, blah, blah. Like he could probably do that if he wanted to, if he had time or if he even tried. But all in all, last night, good start to the road trip. Randy Vasquez in the Matt Waldron start pitched very well. And then Manny Machado had a vintage Manny Machado game. What was the stat? They're undefeated this year when he has 2+ more RBIs.
What's 2+ more?
Or sorry,
two or more.
21 and 0. 21 and 0.
It's pretty good.
What did I say? I'm an idiot.
2+ more.
2+ more. Two or more.
That's a great point, though. I'm glad you mentioned it in your stupid way of mentioning things.
2 or more. You moron.
21 and 0. You say, well, yeah, if you score multiple runs in a game with your best player, does that give you a better chance to win? Well, yeah, but 21 and 0?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
And then scoring first, they're 55 and 11.
Also unbelievable.
Which it just kind of feels like when they score first, they don't give up. They don't let up. Now, they also are a team that has, 38, 39 comebacks this year and 8 walk-offs at home. Like, they can beat you any way possible.
It's amazing.
They can beat you. They beat you with scoring first a lot. And then if they're trailing in games, they still have a bunch of comebacks under their belt.
I know what you were going to say, Brent. Let's say it's
what was I gonna say?
Walk-offs at home. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
All right.
Walk-offs at home.
Yeah.
What?
That's like Grand Slam home runs.
Walk-offs. Oh, yeah, you're
Well,
right.
you can't get a walk-off on
we
the
didn't
road.
want to-
I know.
We didn't want to make you look bad again, but
Yeah,
then
I was
we
gonna
did
let that one
30
slide
seconds ago.
today.
But
There we go. Yeah, just gang up on Jim today.
no,
That's
we're not
fine.
going to do that. It's only
That's
the
all
first
right.
segment. Well, the next 11 segments, we're barely going to do it.
Oh, 11 segments. That's right.
The
We have
next
a lot- we have a
11
lot
segments,
left.
we're barely going to do it. All right, on the other side, we're giving away Aztec tickets this hour for Saturday. Also, the Padres are trying to do something tonight that they have not done since, listen to this, 2010. Padres are trying to do something tonight they have not done since 2010. What is that? We'll tell you next on Jon and Jim. All right, we have Aztec tickets we're giving away coming up later this hour, somewhere between 3:30 and 3:45. Don't go anywhere. San Diego State's opener is Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium at 5 p.m. Tickets are available at goaztecs.com. Are you curious, Jim? What have the Padres not done that they can do tonight that they haven't done since 2010?
It's a good question.
Any ideas? Any thoughts?
I'm trying to think on this one here.
15 seasons.
It's not going to win 90 games since 2010 because that was not possible.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is it being X games over 500?
That is correct. Well done, Brent.
19?
It would be 18.
18?
And you may say, well, hold on. Doesn't John always harp on being 67 and 49 in 2021? And I do. They were not actually 67 and 49 in 2021. We're getting into semantics. It was the completion of a suspended game that put them at that record, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It was a game from earlier in the year that then changed their record later in the year. Anyway, they haven't actually been 18 games over 500 since they finished 2010, 90 and 72. The last time they were actually 18 games over 500, right. They need a win here tonight, was the final day of the 2010 regular season.
It's been a while, John. I do also believe that this team will get to that 90 win threshold too.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now to do that, they would need to go what?
15 and 14?
15 and 14?
Yeah.
15 and 14. I think they're playing better baseball than that. I think they're going to continue to play better baseball than that. I don't think they're just going to be 500 down the stretch and get into the postseason that way. I think they're going to end up having one of the best records in baseball in the second half, and that's going to continue through September here into October. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of firsts under the AJ Preller regime this year. And I think there's going to be a lot of like Padres accomplished this first time since, and it's going to be like decade ago or 2010 or 2007. Like there's going to be a lot of things that they're doing this year that they have not done in a long time.
You know what I would say though? It's a little bit on what Mike Farron said yesterday that I always say, that it's basically baseball has become March Madness, which is it's all based on October. I guess you could always say that's the case. I mean, October matters more than September.
For some teams, it's all about October. Not for all, though.
No, I agree. And I don't think the Padres have the same expectations as the Dodgers. I don't think the Padres have to win the World Series in 2024 for it to be deemed a successful season. I think the Dodgers have to win the World Series in 2024 for it to be deemed a successful season. But I'm just saying, if they reach all these thresholds they haven't reached in 15 years, 90 wins, maybe win a division even, whatever they do, right? Wrap up the top wild card spot, win at a 667 clip in the second half, whatever it is. I just hope it results in winning in October, because I think that's what we're ultimately going to remember. Are we going to say, like, you know what? They lost 2-1 to Atlanta in the wild card, but man, they went 90 and 72.
We're not. Well, let me take that back. We are going to talk about this season because of how exciting it's been.
Mm-hmm.
All the walk-offs, all the crazy moments, Jackson Merrill, Jurickson Profar. Like, there's been a lot of great moments this year. And like we talk all the time about, they've had like 20 games of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the top 10 games of the year list is literally going to be impossible to make.
20 games long, those top 10 games.
It's going to be a long list. So I do think that even if they happen to lose in the wild card round in 2 games, yeah, it will be wildly disappointing. And that's probably the first thing we're going to be talking about this season. But you also have to look at this season right now and say, like, dude, there's a lot of good that happened this year, but it was disappointing as hell. And you can't just sit here and be like, oh, it's fine. Everything's fine. This had a good regular season. Like, no, it's not fine. It will be wildly disappointing. But also you can say, like, yeah, that season was a really, really good one. You can say both are true.
Both are true. And the reason why it matters, why does it matter winning 90 games as opposed to 82? It's probably what you've talked about before. The perception of getting in with 82 wins and losing in the first round is you've got an organization that, how are you even going to treat this? Do you have the right direction with your general manager? Are you confident going into 2025, coming off an 82-win season, for example? I think most people would be pretty confident with the front office structure and the manager if they go 90 and 72 this year, no matter what happens in the postseason. People will be comfortable with AJ Preller returning, Mike Shildt returning. You'll be more comfortable if they make the National Championship Series. or if they make a World Series, or shoot, they win a World Series. But I think you win 90 games. It erases any doubt about, was the direction of the organization in the right direction, because we just went 82 and 80.
Right.
You know,
this way, we don't have to have those conversations. And I was kind of dreading potentially having those conversations at the end of the year, because at one point, with how many teams were bunched up in the wild card race and how they were all around 500, we're just like,
how's this going to work out?
Is this really going to be a situation where 83 wins gets you in? Like 82?
Right.
And then you're saying, well, cool, they made the postseason, but they got 82 wins and they backed their way in. That's not really like a foundation that you could truly build off of. I feel like this team this year, what they're doing now and how they've gotten on this hot stretch, you can really build a foundation off this season going forward. But again, there's still a lot of baseball left. And I do have the utmost confidence in this team going into September and going into October. I really do. I'm not sitting here thinking that it's going to be a short playoff run. I'm not sitting here thinking that at all. I think that they have as good of a chance as anybody to make a run to the World Series this year. If all things are equal and they get back Darvish and they get back Tatis and you go into the postseason with a fully healthy squad, I do have confidence, more than I've ever had with this Padres franchise, that they can make a run.
I agree with you, but let me ask it from this perspective. Like, be unbiased here, and we are.
Yeah.
But just think this through for a second. A best of 5 game or best of 7 game series where they are the road team and they're playing a series against the Phillies or the Dodgers. You could go elsewhere. Arizona's been awesome. But let's just say the Phillies or the Dodgers, they've probably been the headlining teams of the National League. The Dodgers because of their offseason, the Phillies because of their play. If you're playing a best of 5 series with 3 games in Philadelphia or best of 7 series with 4 games in Los Angeles, feeling as good as we've ever felt, like it's better than 2022 feelings heading in.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd feel that way about it. I don't know what Las Vegas would say.
They have been one of the best road teams in baseball this year. They have been consistent on the road. If you take out, like, I think one stretch where they lost like 7 in a row on the road or 8 in a row on the road.
It was a lot. Yeah.
You take that out, they're like, what, 38 and 16 on the road this season?
No.
Well, they're 38. They're 38 and 26 right now on the road.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah.
So
maybe
that bad stretch they had on the road early in the year, after they went 19 and 9 to start, and I don't remember how many games they lost in a row, but then it like got them back to 500 on the road. They've been one of the best road teams. I have confidence with them on the road more than I do at home, even though now at home you just feel like they're going to find a way to win it and walk it off if they're trailing late. So yeah, I put this team in any situation and I feel confident with it.
I feel the same way. I don't know if, and for whatever it's worth, like if the Padres went into a series against the Dodgers or if the Padres went into a series against the Phillies, what type of underdog would they be? I really don't know. It's hard to answer that right now, but I'm wondering, like, nationally, what the perception would be on a series like that. They'd be an underdog. They wouldn't be a significant underdog, but they would be an underdog, I would think.
Say the Phillies win 93 games, Padres win 92. Yeah. You really think it's going to be that big of an underdog
but
for them?
Let's say that's not exactly how it plays out. I mean, let's say the Dodgers win 98 games and the Padres win 90.
I think with the way the Padres have played, and we got to get the break, if they continue this through September, they're not going to be as big of underdogs as I think you think.
Well, true, but if they go 25-8 over the last, they don't even have that many games. If they play 760 baseball from here on out, I agree.
Favorites. They'll be
close
to favorites, I think.
If they do that, though, then they've won the division as well. All right, and they're probably the top seed in the National League. On the other side, we're giving away Aztec tickets. We'll hear from Sean Lewis on his starting quarterback, the true freshman, Danny O'Neill, coming up next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Caltrans. Padres beat the Cardinals last night, game 1 of their 4-game series, 7-4. Game 2 later this afternoon, 4:45. First pitch, Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres against Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals. And yesterday, the Padres, they signed catcher, former All-Star Elias Diaz, who was on waivers, signed him to a minor league contract. Attention, California drivers, the kids of Caltrans workers count on you to keep their loved ones safe. So when you see a highway work zone, please slow down and pay attention. Remember that someone's loved one out there. Be work zone alert.
All right, Saturday is San Diego State's opener. Within 10 minutes, we're giving away tickets. San Diego State, Texas A&M.
Commerce.
Here at Snapdragon Stadium, Saturday, 5 p.m. Pregame coverage will begin at 3.
Tell you what, they better win this freaking game.
Oh, here we go. He's like, I'm not going to tweet anything out.
No, I'm just saying.
It's early. The game hasn't started.
I'm just saying. I mean, if we're going to be kind of,
If we're going to what? Air the games, then they better win?
making fun of Texas A&M Commerce here. They better
Dude,
beat
you're
them.
making fun of them as much as
I know.
We're not making fun of them. It's a fun thing.
Okay.
I told you before, like, my dad lived in Palm Beach County, but Palm Beach is like the richest of the rich. The rest of the county is not.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the running joke is like, I live in Palm Beach County, because you don't live in Palm Beach. Every home is like $10 million. Palm Beach County, every home is like $100,000. So it's just fun. It's sports talk radio. Now you don't want to play this game. You're like,
no, I'll play the game.
Okay.
And then it'll be
It's not
100% our fault.
No, I don't think so. Now I got to worry about that.
Oh, well. That's fine.
All right, so we know that the quarterback is a true freshman. We know they've never had a true freshman starter to start a season.
Correct.
They have had true freshmen take snaps before, but nobody's been on the depth chart as the true starter in San Diego State's Division I history that's a true freshman other than Danny O'Neal. So this was from Sean Lewis's weekly press conference on the Mesa. Why Danny?
Yeah, I mean, his consistency in his prep, the way that he went about his process and just the way that he's conducted himself since he's been here, right? And so, it's our job to put him in a great position to be successful. It's the job and the role of everyone within the organization in all 3 phases to be at their best, right? Knowing that this is going to be his first collegiate start and as a true freshman rolling through it, right? So that they can help him be better and so that he can help those around him be better. But, again, he's earned that opportunity and excited to lead him and guide him so that we can find success.
All right, so what do you expect? At the end of the day, what are you signing up for out of Danny O'Neal on Saturday?
Heisman.
That's a lot of expectations.
I'm kidding.
Like, what do you just, like we always do with like totals for a pitcher, like 6 innings, 4 runs. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for him to, 1, take care of the football. 2, I want to see, some of his talents. Like, okay, can you throw the ball down the field? Is he accurate like they said they are? Like, moving the football with this team. A lot of times we might think that a quarterback here is going to be doing something and they don't. And so on Saturday, I want to see them move the ball down the field, and I want to see him make a couple plays where you're like, wow, that shows promise, and that's like looking forward to the future here. And he's going to continue to build on that. But number one thing is don't turn the ball over. Throwing the ball downfield would be nice to see. I'm not expecting like a 350-yard game, 5 touchdown performance, but I'm expecting something that's not like, hey, he went 14 for 18 for 95 yards. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see
even in the opener, if it's 14 for 18, 95 yards, no interceptions, a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown.
That I don't know about that one. 14 for 18 for 95 yards.
Well, the reason I say it is like a year ago, you're watching Sean Lewis orchestrate the Colorado offense. It's this huge game, the TCU game. They're coming off a national championship game appearance. It's Deion's debut at Colorado. His son is starting at quarterback. They have Travis Hunter on their team. Shedeur Sanders against TCU on the road throws for 500+ yards and 5 touchdowns.
I'm not expecting that.
And now he had been a college starter for years. Now he hadn't played at the FBS level.
Correct.
He had played at the FCS level under his dad, right? Jackson State.
Yeah.
But he had, I don't know how many snaps under his belt, Shedeur, at that time. This is a completely different circumstance. Same play caller, though, is my point.
What I think will help Danny O'Neal is the quick pass game that I'm sure we're going to see on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of yak yards after that could, make his stats look pretty good. I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of 7-step drops and and conveying the field. Like it's a really quick offense. Like, okay, first read here, boom, go, like run the ball.
Well, a lot of RPO. I mean, is it a
RPOs.
run play? Is it a pass play? Make that decision and go.
And it has to be quick.
Yep.
So I think that's going to benefit him because he wants to have to sit back there in the pocket and think so much, where it could hurt other players. If you're really a true freshman and you're going out there and you got to think all the time, that could be difficult.
Would you take this? 38 of 47, 510 yards, 81% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Would you take that? That was Shedeur Sanders against TCU in Fort Worth in the opener. He followed up with 393 yards in game 2, 348 yards in game 3. He had 10 touchdown passes, 1 pick through 3 weeks for Colorado. Dude, in Sean Lewis's offense.
I'm telling you, if Danny O'Neil puts up that stat line on Saturday, I mean, whoa is right. I think every single Aztecs fan will be over the moon.
So you want to be, truthfully, we want to be somewhere between. I'm with you. You don't want to see him throw for 88 yards. No. You know he's not throwing for 530 yards.
I think a nice balance would be like, hey, he went 18 for 26 for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So much talk about this offense. Like, do people even there hasn't been any discussion about the defense. Hardly at all.
Well,
we've spent.
That's a Sean Lewis team.
He got, I don't know. I mean, really, I don't know. I mean, he was the head coach at Kent State. He wasn't the defensive coordinator at Colorado. He's been here, I think he said today, he's been here 273 days. I feel like every single time anyone talks to him from the media, Aztec Fest, quarterback play, Colorado, Dion.
That's exactly.
Which is good.
What's
from a marketing perspective.
People want offense.
They do, but ultimately the defense is going to matter too. So it's going to be fascinating to see how and here's the difference. The previous iterations of the defense, the way they tried to win games was ball control. Mm-hmm. Run the football, hold the football, don't turn it over, hold it for 35 minutes. Now you might be scoring at a quickened pace. How many plays is the defense going to be out there? Yeah. Maybe the defense, it's going to be fascinating to watch how it plays out.
And even if they don't score, if they go, I mean, a 3 and out could be like a minute and a half of like real time. It could go
sure.
In
the game clock, it could be 20 seconds.
Yeah. Like you could have a very quick 3 and out, and defense has to, go back out there after they just got off the field. So that's kind of, I think, maybe the negative of such a fast paced offense is like, if you don't get first downs and if you don't score, your defense is potentially going to be gassed at times because they don't have enough time to rest on the sidelines.
Saturday at 5 p.m., San Diego State and Texas A&M Commerce. How about this? Call right now. Caller 7, you're going to the game. That's all you got to be.
You're like, just call now.
Just call. Caller 7, you're going. 877-767-4760. Simple as that. San Diego State, Texas A&M Commerce, Saturday, 5 p.m., Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets and info at goaztecs.com. Oh, by the way, it's going to be 75 and sunny. So call right now. Caller 7, you are going. We have great giveaways today. We have Def Leppard tickets. We have Pink tickets. We have Dan and Shay. We have Train. But call right now if you want those Aztec tickets. Lines are loaded. 877-767-4760. On the other side, back to tonight for the Padres, trying to start this road trip 2-0. We'll get you ready on the other side. It's Jon and Jim. Kyle Glazer, great voice on all things Major League Baseball, and the Padres will join us coming up at 4:30. The wrap at 4. Great giveaways today. We'll give away Def Leppard tickets in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll give away Pink tickets coming up today as well. So Jim's been saying that Jackson Merrill's like the best player on the team.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else.
What have you been saying?
I thought you were going to bring up Shohei Otani.
Yeah, go there. We can go there. Well, there's a stupid tracker at MLB Network that says chasing 50-50. In the bottom right-hand corner, he's got 41 homers and 40 steals. He's not chasing it tonight. Yeah, he's not going to hit 9 homers and steal 10 bases tonight. If he's at 48-48, 47-47, okay. I mean, why are we putting that up there? Oh, I know why.
Because the glazing of Shohei Otani by Major League Baseball is just unbearable. And anything he does, they have to promote it. Have to. Like, I'm sorry, he's not even having the best season of a major leaguer right now. He has 41 homers and 40 stolen bases. Amazing accomplishment. He's not the best player in baseball. He's not. He is probably going to win the MVP in the National League, but he's not better than Aaron Judge. And you can make a case for a couple other players, by the way, as well, if you want. For me, Shohei, this season, like, it's a great season, but are we forgetting that Ronald Acuna did the exact same thing last year? And he
had 70 steals, right?
He had
73
stolen bases. He 41 home runs. He had a 337 batting average and a 1,012 OPS, all better than Shohei Otani is right now.
Well, to your point, Aaron Judge is a 9.4 WAR. Your boy Bobby Witt, who was like at your wedding, or maybe you were at his, has an 8.8. I mean, there's 3, 4, 5 players in baseball with higher WARs this year than Shohei Otani.
Right, and when Otani's not pitching, he is not the best player in baseball. Plain and simple. Not even, I mean, I'm not going to say not even close, but
he's had a nice year.
He's not the best player in baseball. He has to pitch to be that guy that everyone's glazing over right now.
You know, I wasn't going to bring this up, but now we're talking about it, so I'm going to bring it up anyway. Screw it. I don't even think the 50 home stolen bases is that impressive anymore.
Because of the new rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you go back to, 3 years ago before the rule changed, like, dudes, if they had 43 43 stolen bases, they led the league. So, if he did this 3 years ago before the rule change, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty damn impressive. But now, you can only throw back like twice.
I think twice. Or
no, the third time is like a balk, and also the bases are bigger.
But it makes it so much easier to steal. Is my point.
Yeah.
Where
exactly.
50 stolen bases isn't that impressive anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And sometimes I see a lot of this two ways too, because a lot of these records that were set back in the day, they did in a 154 game season, and now for the last 60 years we've had a 162 game season. Here's the thing with Otani. Let's make this abundantly clear. Mm-hmm. He's a marketing machine for Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball always struggles with national and international appeal. You can't compare Gunnar Henderson to Shohei Otani, even if Gunnar Henderson has a better WAR. You can't compare Bobby Witt Jr. to Shohei Otani. So when Otani is having a season like he's having, he's always going to be put on a pedestal for the remainder of his career. And now that he's with the Dodgers and not the Angels, it only exemplifies that.
It just makes you want to roll your eyes so far in the back of your head every time you see a tweet from Major League Baseball with anything Shohei Otani related.
It's Shohei Otani's world. We're just living in it.
Like the other day on a TikTok, they were joking around, but it came off of just like just annoying, where they're playing the Seattle Mariners. And I don't know who's on the mound for the Mariners, but Otani hit the ball up the middle. The pitcher made some acrobatic play and then threw Otani out at first base. And the caption was like, "Oh my God, look at Otani go." And like they were joking,
sure,
but it came off of like, guys, you really, you sound stupid here.
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
And people already hate the Dodgers as it is. And Otani, to me, is not the best player in the game. Sorry.
I mean, it's not, I'm not going to die on that hill because I have, and I've been burned by it, but he's a very good player. He may pitch again in, I don't know, he might pitch in 2024. He's been throwing off a mound here recently, and he might pitch in 2025. The reason I don't like to make really strong statements in season is I don't know what's going to happen. Otani could be the World Series MVP, or they could be knocked out in the divisional round or the wild card round. And truthfully, if someone would have told me that the Dodgers had 2 teams within 4 games of them today, if you would have told me that in the offseason with Otani, Yamamoto, Teoscar Hernandez, Betts and Freeman and everything coming back, I would have been like, they're going to win the division by 25 games. That's what we were led to believe. So to some extent, it's been disappointing from their perspective. But to another extent, what we said earlier is everything's based on October. So I can't yet go down that path of, they've let teams hang around, or Otani's been good, but he's not the best player in baseball. I agree with your sentiments, but what happens in October? Is he great or is he not?
I just think the sweeping judgments from a lot of people of like, Otani's the greatest player to ever play the game of baseball. You don't know baseball. Sorry, Jeff Passons of the world. If Otani's pitching and he's got a 2.2 ERA and he has 45 home runs, then he's the best player in the game. And then he's the guy that you've never seen before.
So are you saying previously he's been the best player in the game? This is kind of like a Jim Russell's top MLB players now, like how MLB Network does that?
Yeah. Otani he's
got multiple MVPs.
I know he has 2 MVPs, won the rookie of the year. If I'm looking at his pitching stats, he's been really good as a pitcher. The last 2 seasons, 2023 and 2022, where he had a 2.3 ERA and a 3.14 ERA. He was amazing, and he deserved all the credit in the world. But if he's not going to pitch, he's just a DH. He's basically just like a hitter that Bobby Witt Jr. to me can give you infinitely more things than Shohei Otani can, because he's a shortstop. He's 26 years old. He leads the league in batting. He has a better OPS than Otani. He's a guy that is just doing amazing things for the Royals. I'm not saying that Bobby Witt's better than Otani, but give some respect to Bobby Witt instead of saying Otani's the greatest thing since freaking Babe Ruth.
But aren't we also then judging him based on not being fully healthy? I mean, I do get your point. I think this year it's easy to say there's just there's players that are as impactful as Otani, if not more. But it's also because he's not healthy. Like if he was fully healthy, he'd be pitching, I believe, right? Didn't the Dodgers spend that kind of money? Yes, he's a marketing vehicle. But don't they think that he's going to pitch again? Like you'd be surprised if he's not back in the mound.
I would hope, because if he doesn't pitch again, that contract, the Dodgers can afford it because they're the freaking Dodgers, and
it's only $2 million a year.
Yeah, they
My point, I don't even know
that contract.
I don't even know what the point. Are you saying if the point is he's not the best player ever? Well, yeah, ever's a long time. Sure, yeah, ever's a long time. But even some of the non-best players of all time have been featured on MLB Network's Bottom Line. Are we saying he doesn't deserve the attention that he's receiving?
What I'm saying is Otani is a amazing player. He's great. When he's also pitching, it's hard to argue he's not the best player in the game. I'm talking about this year and everybody just gushing over this 40-40 season that he's having right now, when Acuna just had a better, almost you'd say the same exact season last year. To Brent's point, it is so much easier to steal bases in today's game than it was a couple years ago. So to me, the stolen base stat, I don't think it's like this crazy thing. And I think to say this is like an amazing season from Otani and it's better than anybody in baseball, you'd be wrong, because there's a guy named Aaron Judge out there who's having a better season than Otani.
Well, I don't even know, truthfully, because I'm not consuming it like this. And maybe Jeff Passan is saying that. Like, are a lot of people saying like he's the best player in baseball this year? He's going to win National League Rookie or MVP.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. He's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
It's going to be his 3rd. He's got a Rookie of the Year. So nobody's comparing him to Judge, or maybe people are, but Judge is in a different league, so who even cares? It's like they both can have their cake and eat it too. I agree with you. I think that if Otani was on the Angels this year, I think he finishes 2nd in MVP voting. Would be my guess.
Yeah. And also, don't get it wrong here. I hate the Dodgers more than anything. I hate the Dodgers. Otani's on the Dodgers, so I hate Otani. But that doesn't mean my opinion is fully based on anger. It is based on like the fact that, the Otani's season, while it's a great season, everybody like calm down. It's not the greatest thing ever. There's been better seasons than Otani's having this year. Okay, stop.
That's fair, and I like your hatred, and I really do appreciate it. But we all know, and I said this
through you.
I mean, if this dude's doing this for San Diego, I mean, come on, this is the best season in the history of the franchise,
right? I know.
Bar none. End of sentence. So, I mean, I understand it, but And it's a damn good year. I don't want to make a definitive statement on Otani really for a long time because who knows what's going to happen. He could win 5 World Series. He could win none. But, I mean, and his next playoff game is his first. The next time we see Shohei Otani in the postseason. All right, on the other side, Kyle Glazer, Baseball America. He will join us at 4:30 to talk about this crazy race right now in the NL West. We'll get to the wrap coming up next as well. We have Def Leppard tickets to give away in the 4 o'clock hour. Def Leppard and Journey. It's the Summer Stadium Tour with special guest the Steve Miller Band Friday night at Petco Park. We have those tickets to give away. We have pink tickets. Hour 2 of Jon and Jim comes your way next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Caltrans. Padres and Cardinals, game 2 of their 4-game series tonight in St. Louis. 4:45 first pitch there. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres against Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals. And yesterday afternoon, the Padres, they signed free agent catcher Elias Diaz to a minor league contract. Attention California drivers, the kids of Caltrans workers count on you to keep their loved ones safe. So when you see a highway work zone, please slow down and pay attention. Remember that someone's loved one out there. Be work zone alert.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We are here until 6 p.m. Kyle Glazer, formerly Baseball America. He will join us at 4:30. We'll talk about this NL West race, the Padres 25-8 stretch. Dylan Cease, by the way, tonight. Now, since the no-hitter, he has not been the pitcher he was prior to the no-hitter, those 4 or 5 starts. Right now, those 4 or 5 starts like the best in baseball history. He had like a 5-start stretch that was incredible. But since the no-hitter, he had the 1-inning game in Pittsburgh, not his fault, it rained. Mm-hmm. And he had a couple of iffy starts. Even his last start, I think, was a quality start. He went 6 innings, but I think he allowed 8-9 hits in that game. So I want to see vintage Cease tonight. This St. Louis team, like, you can kind of end their season by winning 3 or 4. You still got to do that. But this is an opportunity for me, for Dylan Cease to be Dylan Cease, and for the Padres to start this road trip 2-0.
Yeah, his last start was against the Mets. 6 1/3, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Good. 9 hits.
9 hits, but only gave up 1 run.
2 runs or 1 run?
Sorry, 2 runs. My bad. I would take that tonight. 6 1/3,
so.
Pitch in the 7th.
Yep.
Give up a couple runs, strike out 9, only walk 1. Like,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of feel like you need that tonight. Maybe not need, but you definitely want that tonight because Dylan Cease, if you have visions of making a deep postseason run, Dylan Cease is going to be a big part of that. He's going to have to be a big part of that. So his last couple starts, like you said, kind of average, 6 1/3, 2 runs, 5 2/3, 3 runs, 5 innings, 2 runs. It's not the dominant Dylan Cease that we saw before that outing in Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh ground crew totally tried to F Dylan Cease and he only threw 1 inning there. But tonight, it'd be nice if you get some innings out of him. And you're right. You can really end the Cardinals season, even though I think the Cardinals season's already over as it is.
Man, I could not believe, and this has been a little bit of a national talking point today. I saw Awful Announcing had it because the Padres, I think maybe Ursillo and Mudd were talking about yesterday, like, where is everyone? St. Louis. Like, this is why I continue to preach in the Padres fan base and the 40+ thousand. Say, well, Jon, of course you're going to draw 40+ thousand. You're 18 games over 500. What about last year? They spent 5 of the months basically under 500, and there were 45,000 people there. St. Louis, yeah, okay, they're on a little bit of hard times. They're 500. It's this proud baseball market, right? It really is. And I'm watching last night in the first inning. I'm like, where are the fans? They announced 28,000 last night. I bet there were 14,000 people there.
Yeah, there were no way in hell close to 30,000.
No way.
No way.
I don't know. Was there a traffic jam? I mean, it's just amazing because you have all these unbelievable markets. St. Louis is this great market. Like Cincinnati, their history. Baltimore with this good team. Cleveland with this great year. Where is everyone? Yeah, San Diego. I don't even want to go on this tangent, but I'm going to do it anyway. San Diego, not a good sports market. It's not St. Louis, right? It's not Baltimore. It's not the Northeast.
What else does St. Louis have? They got the Blues.
They used to have the NFL. They lost it.
They have the St. Louis Blues, and they have the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
College football, obviously, but
it's kind of like Cardinal first.
It's always
for 100 years.
Yeah, it's always been Cardinals first.
No, I think it was NFL probably for a while, but I'm just saying, like, don't take it for granted. I mean, a lot of people have been here for the good and the bad of the Padres. Like, the Padres had a lot of nights with 13,000 people at Petco Park, in this ballpark, not just the Q, but at Petco Park. And now I'm watching 45,000 people. It's a Tuesday night. You're playing the Marlins. There's 40,000 people there.
I think it goes back to last year when they went 71-91, and you're kind of middling right now. You're 65 and 66.
It's a bad spot to be in.
You're in between. Yep. You don't really have that star power like you thought you used to have. Goldschmidt's hitting 7th in their lineup now, like, which is crazy.
Which is amazing.
Nolan Arenado is
because it's that stacked.
Right, good boy.
Yeah.
He just hasn't hit.
No,
right,
he's been horrible.
Hit. Yeah,
Nolan Arenado has been good, but He's not once what he used to be.
Right.
Yeah, man. It's weird how they are just not showing up, and they demand to be better. Like fans there,
maybe there's some of that.
They'll let you know, like, hey, this isn't good enough. We're used to 90-win seasons almost every year. We're used to competing for a division almost every year. If you look at the last 5 seasons, John, last year they went 71-91. 2022, they went 93-69. They finished first in the division. 2021 was Shildt. They went 90-72. And then 2020, we know what happened there. 2019, they went 91-71. They finished first in the division. But they didn't miss the postseason 3 straight years. But they still had a bunch of fans there.
Did they come in last place last year or not?
They did.
That was the first time ever.
First time
in like 100 years. Or it's happened like
long time.
It's been like 50 years or 40 years.
Last place.
30 years. Long time. Doesn't happen. Right?
I mean, I'm looking right now and I don't see the last.
It's a long time.
They finished a lot of like second to last.
Anyway, the point is, here's my general point, though. It doesn't have to do with the Cardinals.
Was that? No, that's not right.
I think it's right.
I was going to say 1918.
I think it's right. I mean, that's how good they've been.
That's the last time they finished last place. They went 51-78, 8th of 8th.
But hear me out. Hear me out. Because everyone's like, well, of course San Diego drew in 2023. They're coming off an NLCS in 2022. Of course the Padres drew in 2023. Oh, yeah? Why does Arizona not draw? Because they were in the World Series last I checked.
Because that ballpark
last year
sucks.
But Kansas City's got Bobby Witt, the star of stars. They draw, right? No, they're 5th to last in baseball.
Because it's Kansas City. And it's Chiefs time.
But it hasn't been. Was it Chiefs time in April? Was it? I mean, they're 15, 20 games over 500. They draw the same as the Rays.
I do honestly think that, yes, winning, if you win more often than not, they will come. But there are some places that doesn't happen. I do think the ballpark plays a big factor into this thing. Kauffman Stadium, I've never been there, but is that like revered as like
I think it's a
one of
fine
the best
stadium.
Stadiums in baseball?
I don't think it's a stadium issue.
Busch Stadium or wherever they're
That's a great
called now.
stadium. That's the same age as Petco.
I think their fan base is a little more like
highbrow. You're saying St. Louis, like they expect more?
Like, hey, this is not good enough.
Yeah, okay, fair. But again, I'm just saying it from the Kansas City perspective, from the Arizona Diamondback perspective. Cleveland, 20th in baseball in attendance. The best record in the American League for most of this year.
What do those teams have in common?
Well, every market has an NFL team.
No, not NFL. Like I just said, stadiums, ballparks.
No, because now we're making. But I thought if you win, they come.
I said to an extent. There are some places that doesn't happen.
That's the problem.
Like if the Oakland A's were on pace to win 95 games, no one's going to that stupid ballpark.
Oakland's one of one. We agree. They're gone in weeks.
Cleveland, not a good ballpark.
What are we talking about? Is it a bad one?
Arizona, horrible.
That's fair. It's a bad ballpark. Okay. But guess what? I mean, the Padres drew at the Q when they were good.
Okay.
Did they not?
But I mean,
late in the Q's history? I mean, right. Towards the end. I
don't know. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
Probably not like.
Well, the Padres last year at the Q was what? Early 2000s?
Yeah.
And they drew as late as the late 90s.
I don't
40 years into the Q.
I don't think they were selling 70,000 tickets a night, John.
In 1998, they were drawing, were they not? Because the Cleveland Guardians ain't drawing in 2024 with a similar record.
They started drawing when they started winning.
These teams have won, is my point.
I just think that the ballpark plays a factor. That's what I'm saying. And Petco Park is one of the best in baseball. It's revered as maybe the best in baseball. And winning does help. Pittsburgh is one of the best ballparks. Oracle Park's one of the best ballparks. They don't show up because their teams aren't good. Yes, it plays a role. And guess what? When the Padres weren't good during the 2010s up until
true, but of course
no one showed up.
True,
trust
but
me, I
things
was
have
there.
changed. But trust me, last year they did show up. I was there.
I know, and they were there because one, the players on the team. Two, the excitement level to start the season and the amount of season tickets that were already sold. And three, I don't know, just ballpark's great. There we go.
If it was as simple as the ballpark, then the Padres would have drawn in 2017. If it was as simple as the ballpark.
So you want to talk about 98, John? All right. Attendance was 2.5 million.
That's good. Because guess what? That's going to be higher than the Cleveland Guardians this year.
Their average attendance at the Q was 31,000 in a 60,000 seat stadium.
Sure. No, I get it. But like the Royals are drawing 19,000.
Okay.
You know?
I don't know,
when
John.
the NFL was here.
These are just
I'm not looking
opinions.
I'm not looking for you. I'm telling you. I'm not
Why
telling
do you
I'm
think
telling
it is?
because San Diego's a damn good baseball market that's taken advantage of the NFL leaving.
I think that is
That's the reason.
I think that is the case over the
it's
last couple of years.
It's a 365-day-a-year market, and it doesn't get credit for it. I think it's now getting more credit than previously. But there's this general belief that San Diego's Atlanta when it comes to sports. Bad example. Atlanta has the NFL, but everyone's like, oh, Atlanta, Braves could be in the postseason. There's 30,000 people at Turner Field or whatever their new ballpark is. They don't even draw in the postseason. Like, that's been a national perspective before. Oh, Chargers don't draw when they were in San Diego. It makes sense for them to leave. Oh, the Padres, they're an afterthought in Major League Baseball. They don't spend.
They've
turned
that, yes.
Yeah, it's all changed on its head. Now, the factors were Peter Seidler's regime, their spending prowess, their marketability,
superstars,
they're winning, the fact that the NFL left. It was maybe a perfect storm.
Yeah,
maybe a perfect storm.
I don't think that 10 years ago this town is considered a baseball town.
I agree.
Wasn't. And now it has been.
I don't think 10 years ago they'd have the exact same attendance this year, even with this very good team.
10 years ago, they were 12th out of 15th in the National League.
In attendance?
In attendance.
And they weren't a good team. They were probably 12th in record.
They went 76 and 86. They drew 2.1 million fans. This year, they're going to draw probably close to or over 3 million.
All right, we never got to the wrap.
And by the way, last year too, John, they just came. My third point, they just came off an NLCS run.
So Arizona came off the World Series. Where are they?
I'm talking about the Padres.
That's what I'm saying. They're becoming a little bit of like a unicorn.
Well, again, it flows with time. So in 10 years, if this team sucks, are they still going to draw 3 million fans?
No, but if they're good, will they?
If they're good, yeah.
Okay,
but if they're bad,
that's where I put them as a better market for baseball than Cleveland, Baltimore, Washington, Kansas City, Phoenix.
Well, they're better than Phoenix market, that's
right?
For sure.
You know what I mean? All right. How long is this Higgy sound on Jackson Merrill?
About like a minute.
All right, let's hear from Higgy, because Higgy loves Jackson Merrill. Jim loves Jackson Merrill. I love Jackson Merrill. Everyone loves Jackson Merrill. Everyone loves Higgy. This is Kyle Higashioka on Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, I mean, the guy goes out there and he plays great defense. He hits, he runs. I mean, he's playing every day. It's like he's never going to be on an innings limit. You know, team's never going to try to protect him. I mean, this guy's out there grinding every single day. So, and the amount of like game tying and game winning home runs and just pivotal moments that this guy has produced over the year. I mean, you could argue that he's the best player on the team. And it's like, to me, it's incredibly valuable. I know we're not talking about most valuable player, but it's rookie of the year. But still, it's just having played with him every day. It's a no-brainer for me. But I'm sure there's plenty of arguments for either player.
He should have a sports talk show. I like the way he's talking. He's making the case. I like some Kyle Higashioka. He might be the MVP of this team.
Kyle?
I mean, he's had a good year is what I'm saying.
He's had a damn good year.
Career year.
For him, yeah. Jackson Merrill, best player on this team. You can make the argument for sure.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Like, he's been arguably the most impactful, arguably the best. Played every day. Yeah, I mean, everything that he's done this year, this team is nowhere close to where they are now without Jackson Merrill. Completely agree. We've got the wrap for you. It's coming up next. Kyle Glazer from Baseball America will join us coming up at 4:30. We'll give away Def Leppard tickets at 4:45. It's Jon and Jim.
All right, hey guys, it's Jon Jim, and we're in one of the best times of the year. NFL, college football right around the corner. Major League Baseball postseason is coming. And with Underdog Fantasy, you can win 325 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats.
Yeah, we've been playing Underdog Fantasy for years now. It's super easy to play. Just download the Underdog Fantasy app, pick higher or lower from some of your favorite players. Me and John have been picking a lot of Padres players. We've been winning a lot of money. It's easy to play. Download the Underdog Fantasy app right now.
Jackson Merrill tonight, higher. Go to their mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Jon and Jim. That's JONANDJIM. And Underdog will give you a highly discounted pick to use on your first pick of entry, plus a 50% deposit match up to $1,000, their best offer ever. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code JONANDJIM to claim your new customer offer of a gimme first pick and your deposit offer.
Yeah, you must be 18 or older and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms to apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hi, Kyle Glazer, formerly Baseball America on the Red Hot Podcast and the NL West. Join us coming up at 4:30. We're a bit delayed on the wrap, so let's get to the wrap.
A wrap presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who would be the best first round opponent for the Padres in the playoffs?
The best
matchup?
The Chicago White Sox.
That'd be a really good match. Oakland would match up well.
I mean, best?
Except for the wrong
Who
league.
would you want to see? Would you want to see? I mean, they're Atlanta.
I don't like playing that game because it's like I want to see that team, but then it doesn't work out. I think for me, it's the opposite. I think teams don't want to see the Padres. So bring on whoever. I don't care who they face in the first round of the postseason, whoever it is.
So you didn't answer the question.
That's how I answered it.
What's the question? The best first round opponent for the Padres? I'd say the best first round opponent is a bye. Because if you get a top 2 seed, you're not going to play in the first round. I don't think there's anything that's like, here's what I would say.
There's only really 2 options here.
No, there's multiple. There's Atlanta, there's Arizona, there's LA.
You would need to get
there's Milwaukee.
You would need to get what? To be the 3 seed to face Atlanta?
Unless they move up to the 5 seed and you're the 4 seed.
And that would mean they would need to win the division, and the Dodgers would need to fall off.
No. Atlanta can be the 4 and the Padres can be the 5 very easily.
Okay. Yeah.
Or 5-4.
Well, Arizona's there too, so if they overtake Arizona.
Not necessarily. Arizona could win the division.
Well, it goes Arizona, Padres, and Atlanta right now. So if the Atlanta's the 4 seed, you wouldn't face Atlanta in the first round because you'd be the 6 seed or the 5
Not
seed.
if you're the 5.
Or sorry, the 6 seed. If Atlanta's the 5 seed,
there's 29 games
seed.
left. Anything could see. We're talking about teams within 3 games of each other.
I think the most realistic possibilities is the Padres either the 4 or the 5, potentially the 1, because that would mean they have to overtake the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have the best record in baseball.
My head hurts. Next question. Who cares? I mean, I can't. It's a fair point. Who knows?
Well, if your head hurts from that, it might not get better. What teams do you want to see play in the Holiday Bowl?
Oh, my goodness.
Who has this? This is your question,
That was
right?
me, John.
I love this question. This is the best question ever asked in the history of the rap.
You go first.
I think a dream Holiday Bowl scenario, and I'm serious when I say this. I think a dream Holiday Bowl scenario at Snapdragon Stadium is Notre Dame, USC. How do you get that? Notre Dame falls into the ACC bowl tie-ins. You have the ACC as one side of the Holiday Bowl. How do you get USC? They're in the Big Ten. Au contraire. Any team that was in the Pac-12 in 2023 will play in a quote-unquote Pac-12 bowl game in 2024 and 2025. The Holiday Bowl is still technically a quote-unquote Pac-12 bowl game. You could end up with USC. You could end up with Oregon. I don't think it's realistic because of the expectations for the year. I think you could absolutely end up with something like SC and Notre Dame in a dream scenario. Top that, Jim.
I can't top that. I'll go
Wake, Oregon State.
No, I'll go Washington. I was going to say Florida State, but they just lost to.
No, that's possible.
That could be in their favor, though.
Yeah. Washington, Florida State.
I like that. That would be a really good matchup. That's a good matchup.
So, because it says the Pac-12 schools is one of the schools going to be in this Holiday Bowl, but at the same time, like, well, there's only 2 Pac-12 schools. Like, no, it goes back to the old Pac-12
for the next 2 years. Yeah. So those 12 schools are all eligible. Could be Oregon State or Washington State, or it could be any of the other teams that were in the Pac-12 a year ago. Next question.
What playoff team from last year do you think is going to miss the playoffs this upcoming NFL season?
I am going to say Pittsburgh made it last year, right?
Did they? Were they the 7 seed?
I want to say Pittsburgh made it.
You want to say, but is it accurate? Okay, wild card round last year. Did have the Pittsburgh Steelers lose to the Bills?
Yeah, I'm going to take. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are not
with the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. All the other teams in the playoffs, by the way, it's hard to pick one of those teams to not make the postseason. So for me, it's kind of the easy call here. It's Pittsburgh. I don't have any faith that they're going to get in the postseason, even though Mike Tomlin never has a losing season. But I just don't see it.
San Francisco.
I hate you.
I'm kidding. I would say the Browns. Like, I don't trust Deshaun Watson at all. I don't trust the Browns at all. They have a very good defense.
Yeah.
They were whatever seed they were a year ago. They won 11-6. It's a very nice year, but they could easily be like a 9-8 type team on the outside looking in. So I would say I think Pittsburgh's a great call. I think Cleveland's at least a possibility.
Green Bay.
Green Bay was in this past year?
Yeah, they were. And they announced today that A.J. Dillon's out for the season with a neck injury.
And they smoked Dallas in the wild card.
And they lost Aaron Jones is gone too. So now the only back they have left was Josh Jacobs.
Season over. Winless year for the Packers, but Jordan Love MVP. 0-17, he's going to throw for 6,000 yards.
Yeah.
But they're not going to win. All right, 3-question wrap.
3-question wrap. It's fine.
It's fine. Like I couldn't think of a fourth
Some days we just can only do 3 questions.
What would have been a good fourth question? That's the fourth question of the wrap.
How many? I don't know.
That's why we didn't come up with the 4. I was thinking long and hard about it. I mean, Dylan Cease's line tonight, just in general, I think he goes 6 innings against St. Louis. I really do. And I think they need him to go 6 innings potentially to win the game. But yeah, I'm trusting Dylan Cease. All right, here's what we're going to do because Kyle Glazer is going to join us in just about 3 or 4 minutes. Kyle Glazer, formerly Baseball America. What's he make of the Padres' 25-8 second half and this race right now in the NL West? Kyle Glazer will join us on the other side. Still to come this hour, your chance to win Def Leppard tickets Friday night at Petco Park. But Kyle Glazer, he'll join us next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Caltrans. Padres and Cardinals, game 2 of their 4-game series, 4:45 first pitch. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres against Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals. Another news with the Padres yesterday. They signed free agent catcher Elias Diaz to a minor league contract. Attention California drivers, the kids of Caltrans workers count on you to keep their loved ones safe. So when you see a highway work zone, please slow down and pay attention. Remember that someone's loved one out there. Be work zone alert.
All right, game 2, Padres Cardinals coming up in about 15 or 20 minutes from St. Louis. San Diego red hot, 25-8. In their last 33 games, still trying to catch up with Arizona and LA in the National League West. Kyle Glazer, formerly Baseball America, friend of the show. He's been with us a ton over the years, back with us on Jon and Jim. Kyle, we always do appreciate it. I guess I'll start with this. How have they done this? Without Tatis, without Musgrove and Darvish for a lot of this, they're 25-8 in their last 33. I guess what's impressed you most, about the way they've done it over the last 5-6 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can say really over the entire season, not just the last 5-6 weeks, that they've had guys step up. I mean, let's not forget, Manny Machado got off to, probably the slowest start of his professional career. Xander Bogaerts missed most of the first half, but they had Jerkson Profar and Jackson Merrill step up in huge, huge, huge ways. Again, the additions of Luis Arias, let's not forget Donovan Solano, were great midseason additions by AJ Preller. We've talked a lot over the years about some of the missteps the Padres have made in trades. Let's give Preller and his staff credit. They did a great job in terms of in-season additions this year, and that includes Dylan Cease at the beginning of the year. So they had a lot of guys step up. They fortified their team during the season. And then now that we're starting to see Manny Machado heat back up, Xander Bogaerts is, getting back to hitting like his normal self. They did a good job of, staying afloat when guys were hurt or not performing their best. Now that some of their guys are starting to get back and others are starting to perform, they're in great position.
And we've had you on a lot this year. And I remember at the beginning of the year, we talked a lot about expectations for Jackson Merrill and a guy that's playing a new position. And it was a lot of we'll wait and see type of thing. I mean, just how, in your opinion, how much has he exceeded all expectations for this year?
It's been absolutely extraordinary to see what he's done. 99.999% of players who had played 46 games above A-ball would not be able to make the jump to the major leagues, regardless of whether or not they were playing their regular position. To then do that while moving up the defensive spectrum in some ways, moving from infield to outfield, and taking on a new position he has never played before at any level of professional baseball, and do an okay job out there. It's truly remarkable. I think even most bullish expectations for Jackson Merrill, he's exceeded even those. This is a truly, truly special young talent to do what he's done, hit like he has after so little reps against upper level pitching, while also playing a brand new position. And it's not like he moved, from shortstop to second base. We're talking about going from the infield to the outfield, playing the middle of the diamond. You can't say enough about him, and he really has exceeded all rational expectations. What he's doing is truly extraordinary.
It's been amazing to watch. I mean, I'll be honest, I had my questions about if this was a possibility, and it's worked out perfectly, obviously, for Merrill and the organization. Kyle Glazer with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. How do you stack up this Rookie of the Year race? Skeens, Merrill, how do you see it?
Yeah, look, they're both sensational talents. I've said on a couple places, including MLB Network, for me, if I was voting today, I would go Jackson Merrill. Given what he's done for this team day in and day out from opening day, hitting 290 with an 809 OPS. I mean, he's top 10 in the National League in both average and slugging percentage. He's hitting for power. He's got a chance for a 2020 season, all while playing center field and ranking among the major league leaders in assists from the outfield. While coming up huge time and time again in big spots, 6 game tying or game winning home runs now in the 8th inning or later, which is something only 2 Hall of Famers, Mel Ott and Frank Robinson, have ever done in their age 21 seasons or younger. To me, that puts Merrill over the top. Again, there are going to be others who disagree and say they prefer Skeens, and I don't think they're necessarily wrong. I think Skeens is a tremendous talent as well. I get the argument for him. I personally would vote Merrill, and I think that's why this is going to come down to the end. I don't think that, anyone has an open and shut case right now. We're going to see how both these guys have to perform over the final month here.
How would you stack up the race for the postseason here between the Padres and the Diamondbacks and Dodgers? Do you still see the Dodgers winning this division? And out of the 3 teams I mentioned, in your opinion, who's the scariest?
Yeah, look, I mean, the Dodgers are getting healthy, and that was the biggest thing with them was, could they stay afloat while they were losing so many guys? And Bobby Miller's back, Walker Buehler's back, Clayton Kershaw, his last start aside, is starting to round into form. Mookie Betts is back, Max Muncy's back, Tommy Edmonds off the IL. So, look, the Dodgers are in first place. They held first place throughout, when they were not at full strength. Now that they're getting to full strength, it's going to be hard to catch them just because of how talented they are. I do think Padres and Diamondbacks are fairly evenly matched, and you have to love the fact that the Padres, like you mentioned, have done this really without much contributions from Fernando Tatis, Yu Darvish, or Joe Musgrove. Musgrove's back now. Darvish is off the restricted list. Tatis is working his way back. The Padres are in good position. And look, the Diamondbacks are the defending National League champions, and they have the best record in baseball since the All-Star break. I think these are three of the four best teams in the National League, along with the Phillies. They're all better than the Braves. They're all better than the Brewers. These are three really good teams, and it's going to be a dogfight to the finish.
No doubt about it. Kyle Glazer with us right now on Jon and Jim. Speaking of Tatis, when he does return, assuming he does return, do you think it's realistic for the expectations to be for him to be Fernando Tatis Jr., 850 to 950 OPS over a short period of time and then be ready to rock and roll in the postseason? Is that fair?
I think you probably have to give him a little bit of a grace period. Again, when you haven't played, you're not up to game speed. It's tough. It takes a little while. We have to remember last year fans were wondering what's wrong with Tatis. There are even times this year he got a really hot start. They felt this month a little bit, and he was finally starting to get it going. When he got hurt. So if he's able to come back and be that player right away, awesome. But you talk about 850, 950 OPS. He hasn't done that since 2021. It was a 770 OPS last year. It's 821 this year. So I think expecting him to come back off injury and just be better than he has at any point the last 3 years probably isn't fair to him.
Joe's come back. He's looked fantastic in his 3 starts coming off the IL. We're assuming that Darvish will return here. How much does maybe your opinion change on the Padres if you get a fully healthy Yu Darvish back to the postseason run here?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I don't know. I would say things necessarily change because I view the Padres as a championship contender the way they're playing right now. But there's no question, all of a sudden, if you look at a rotation where you can go Musgrove, Darvish, Cease, and Michael King, I mean, that has a chance to be one of the best, rotations in the postseason of any team. So getting Yu Darvish back healthy, at full strength, yeah, there's no question that's a huge, huge advantage for the Padres come postseason time if he can get there.
All right, Sophie's choice question. We've talked about this a lot. If you're in a 3-game series and you're the Padres, very realistic with where the Dodgers are. They're in a wild card series, and to your point, let's just assume, fair or not, but Darvish, Musgrove, Cease, King are quote-unquote healthy, and both or all of them pitching effectively. Obviously, someone will be better, someone will be worse, but let's say all 4 are pitching effectively. What would you do with your 3-man rotation with those 4 pitchers heading into the postseason?
Yeah, look, I mean, Cease and King, I feel like have to be on there. Just the way that they've, performed this year and how good they've been. I think, it's tough if they're all healthy and performing that last spot. I might give it to Musgrove just given he's had a little more time to ramp up. Is probably going to be able to give you, a few more innings pitching deeper into games. So that would probably be ideal in a division series. At the same time, though, once you get to a championship series, you need a 4-man rotation. Yep. You're going to need all 4 of these guys, and the Padres are going to be in pretty good position to be able to pick from any of them.
How much credit do you give Mike Shildt for the job he's done this year with this club?
Oh, tremendous amount. I've talked about it here and other places. Mike Shildt brings a tremendous amount of credibility. He spent 20, 30 plus years in the minors, coaching at every level. He's been a coach. He's been a scout. He was a well-respected coach and eventual manager in St. Louis for a playoff team. Knows how to handle stars with Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado. I mean, this is a baseball lifer who knows everything there is to know about the game and is beloved by everyone who's ever played for him. He deserves a lot of credit. The entire coaching staff does. Victor Rodriguez has done a fantastic job overhauling this team's approach. We saw last year, a lot of big situations. They were swinging from the fences, kind of having reckless at-bats. This year, they're calm, controlled. They're playing great situational baseball. And Ruben Niebla with the pitching staff has done a great job as well. So all around, this has been a tremendous coaching job from the manager all the way through the rest of the staff.
It's been an amazing year. We'll see if they can finish it off here with the calendar flipping to September in just a few days. Kyle, we always appreciate your perspective. Thanks for hopping on before this game here this afternoon.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, my pleasure. Anytime, guys.
All right, great stuff. Kyle Glazer used to be at Baseball America. He took your side. I respect Kyle a lot.
Love Kyle Glazer.
So I'm not going to disagree with him. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I just the more you think about it, the more it's like, okay, you're giving 2 spots to 2 guys that have missed the majority of the year over a dude that potentially you could say has been your most consistent pitcher all season long.
True, but a dude that is going to be like in uncharted waters.
He already is in uncharted waters.
They're even more uncharted. They're the most uncharted waters. Like you're looking at like
every time he goes out there, John,
unicorns in the water.
Is considered uncharted waters.
Uncharted,
whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
So like nothing changes. It's just like you're adding more innings. Like,
yeah, well, that's what changes.
I know
because the math would support at some point if you double up your innings from the year before, you're probably in an area that maybe is problematic.
Well, I mean, it's just hard to envision them saying, "Yeah, Michael King, thanks for putting together this career year for us, but no thanks because Darvish just came back." Like,
it's also hard to envision for me, Darvish coming back and not pitching in a wild card series.
If Darvish comes back and has 4 starts and he's lights out in those 4 starts,
then what do you do?
Then yeah, I think the discussion is absolutely real, and I think it's going to be very difficult to figure that out. But that's what they get paid the big bucks for down there.
They definitely do. All right, call right now if you want Def Leppard tickets for Friday night. This is a great giveaway. This is this Friday night in 3 days. Def Leppard, Journey, the Steve Miller Band. This is the Summer Stadium Tour at Petco Park Friday night. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. You need to call right now. We call it Trainwreck Radio. Here's the number, 877-767-4760. We have Def Leppard tickets right now for Petco Park Friday night. 2 free tickets. Call right now. First 2 callers will be contestants. 877-767-4760. Again, 877-767-4760. Call right now. Def Leppard tickets. We're giving them away. Next. All right, hey guys, it's Schaefer. We do have great news for homeowners. It really is. Mortgage rates are tanking, and my friends over at Loan Pronto, they have rates that start with a 4. This is the best rate in years. Listen, if your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99%. Whether you got stuck with your loan maybe in the last couple of weeks or couple of months, even within the last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. You might be in the process right now with another lender. You could stop now and call Loan Pronto and ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. All right, Jon and Jim back with you. We have great giveaways coming up. We're going to play Trainwreck Radio momentarily for Def Leppard tickets. Then in the 5 o'clock hour, we've got pink tickets. The tickets are pink. It's the
I don't know if they are for this one. It's concerts. Yeah.
If you go to the Super Bowl, you'll get a physical ticket.
Awesome. Like 80% of the concerts that we give tickets away for now, they do tickets, but the majority of the 20% that don't usually involve echoes.
Well, we have pink tickets. Again, they're not physically pink. We have tickets to see pink coming up at the 5 o'clock hour with Sheryl Crow. We have Dan and Shay tickets. We have Train with REO Speedwagon. 3 giveaways every single segment before Jim's back page in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll keep you updated over the remainder of the show on baseball going on around Major League Baseball. But right now, let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Louie and Michelle. Louie, you called in first, so you have your choice of Jon or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
I'm going to go with Jon. Sorry, Jim.
That's okay. Louie.
Sorry, Jim. Yeah.
It's okay.
I can't understand him.
Wait. Michelle, you were going to go with Jon as well, or you couldn't understand Louie?
Hold on. What's that?
Michelle, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wait.
Your voice got super deep, Michelle.
This is Michelle.
Okay, we have Michelle, we have Louie.
Okay, Louie, your partner is Jon. Michelle, your partner is Jim, okay?
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm having a really hard time hearing you.
Yeah, me too.
I'll guess you'll have to go to another caller.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
Louie, congrats.
Congrats, Louie. You won.
Do we want to try one more caller?
No, I'm done. Oh,
so is this the end of Trainwreck Radio as we know it?
Yeah, we're done.
That's it.
To be fair, Louie couldn't hear me before I put him on the air, so I don't know what's going on.
But now Kyle Glazer did hear us because we talked to him.
I'm not an engineer.
Yes,
I
you
have
are.
No answers to this.
Well, actually, you may be coming up. Do we want to try? It is Trainwreck Radio. Brent, see who's calling. If we could try potentially, just to make our day a little more.
It's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. Louie still standing by. All right, someone's going to play Louie in Trainwreck Radio if they can hear us. Normally we say turn your radio down, maybe blast your radio so you can hear what we say.
No, because then you have a horrible echo.
All right, Louie is with Jon. Steve, you're with Jim. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Should I put the?
All right, Louie, you won. Congratulations. You're going to see Def Leppard. Good segment. All right, Trainwreck Radio might be done for the time being.
I don't know.
How do we explain this?
I don't know. I have no clue, Jon. I mean, I am beyond livid right now.
You're beyond livid?
Yeah, I'm.
All right. So where's your mind go? Are you mad at the phone system? Are you mad at the?
I'm mad at whoever's in charge of making sure our phones work. Okay.
But they worked for Kyle again, though.
And so, whoever has the opportunity to fix our phones. That's who I'm mad
told
at.
They were fixed.
Well, they're apparently not because we got.
They were up until now. Apparently,
we got everybody who can't hear us.
It's like, what are they? There's that area, Bermuda's Triangle, right? It's like you can't explain why
Like
planes go down there.
Which is like the
it's
phone's
445 triangle.
Like I don't know.
No, nobody.
Kyle
knows.
heard you. Fletch had a guest on at 12:30.
We
He
had
heard
two guests
him
yesterday. I don't know either. All right, Louie, this is what you've won.
Maybe because we put 2 callers on at once.
Maybe.
Like put Louie back on.
Let's have Louie on. Let's have Louie
bring
as
Louie
a
back on.
Louie, can you hear? Louie, you're
you
back
there?
on with Jon and Jim.
Are you there?
You're our 445 guest. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you clear before you switched over, but now that you're talking to me, you sound a little muffled, but I can hear you.
So it's the 2
Okay.
callers.
No, or it's the switchover.
Or
he says he could hear us when he's on hold, and then when Brent pots him up on the board.
And then when you have two callers on at once, it's
very even
difficult.
worse. And the music's in the background.
Yeah. Well, there goes the show.
I don't think you can give this that credit.
I don't want to.
Show had already gone.
Well, thanks, Louie. You're the winner.
Louie, you're the winner. Here's what you're going to win: 2 tickets to see Def Leppard and Journey. This is the Summer Stadium Tour with special guest the Steve Miller Band. Friday, August 30th at Petco Park. Congratulations. You are going to the show. Now, we will have tickets to give away in the 5 o'clock hour because the callers don't have to come on the radio. We have had our last guest in the history of Jon and Jim. It was Kyle Glazer. Congratulations, Kyle. But next hour, we do have pink tickets. We have Dan and Shay tickets. We do have Train with the REO Speedwagon. We'll give those away next hour. We will keep you updated as well on Padres and Cardinals. We do have Jim's back page coming up. We're with you until 6 p.m. Jim's going to go punch someone, maybe a wall, maybe the phone system. We'll have an update for you on the other side. Do not go anywhere. The update on PhoneGate is next to kick off hour 3 of Jon and Jim. I'll have an update for you. I'm going to go find our program director. That's next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Caltrans. Padres Cardinals underway in St. Louis. Padres trail the Cardinals early here, 2-0, heading to the top of the second inning there. And other news with the Padres might be pertinent after today's game. But yesterday, they signed Elias Diaz to a minor league contract. Attention California drivers, the kids of Caltrans workers count on you to keep their loved ones safe. So when you see a highway work zone, please slow down and pay attention. Remember that someone's loved one out there. Be work zone alert.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We fixed the phones.
Oh,
Maybe. Really? We'll see, but we have giveaways for you this hour. I'm not going to worry about PhoneGate. Jim gets once you get irritated about something like that, you're very irritated. Now, I also get irritated by it, but not to the same degree.
I just want things to work, Jon, and I want people to care, and I want things to get done, and it's not getting done, so that's why I'm pissed.
Okay.
But we'll move on.
Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. Because we had the phone issues for Louie and whomever else, we're going to give away pink tickets with Sheryl Crow and the script Wednesday, September 11th at Petco Park. This segment. So we'll give away those pink tickets this segment. We'll give away Dan and Shay next segment. We'll give away Train with REO Speedwagon the segment afterwards. Now, here's what I would say. Padres Cardinals game 2 of a series, very early. Dylan Cease on the mound. Padres won yesterday. St. Louis scores a couple of runs in the first inning. They lead 2-0. I guess my point is this. Is it fair to say that Dylan Cease has not been the same since the no-hitter? Some of it may be his fault, some of it not his fault. Had the rain situation in Pittsburgh, went an inning. Had a rocky start maybe against Miami. Had the good start we've talked about his last time out. Now he's allowed 2 runs in the first inning. Is that going a bridge too far, or is that fair? Like Dylan Cease has kind of struggled to find the pitcher that he was going into that no-hitter and the day of his no-hitter as well.
I think it's completely fair to talk about. I think if you just look at his game logs here and you look at what he did in that stretch, he was, unhittable. Like literally he was unhittable. And then it just kind of turned into more average from him, from July 13th to, I'll give him to July 7th. Actually, no, June 26th. June 26th, he had a blow-up start in between there at Texas. But 4 of his 5 starts were amazing, including his no-hitter. After his no-hitter, 5 2/3, then that 1 inning in Pittsburgh, 5 innings, 5 2/3, 6 1/3. Today, I don't know, but it hasn't been the greatest for him since his no-hitter. Like he had a stretch of games for 3 straight starts from June 13th to June 25th, or July 13th to July 25th. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs.
Yeah.
7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, and then a no-hitter on July 25th.
I was getting a Celsius. Were those runs earned or not? Because I'm going to calculate his ERA real quick since the no-hitter, but were those runs earned?
Those runs
because you said there was something with Campy.
Yeah, okay. It was called a wild pitch. But
do I even do the game?
And it wasn't an error on Arise. Arise just the ball went over the bag and he chased it down.
Right. So since that day, no, I don't even want to do it. Basically, I was going to say in August. I don't want to do it in real time.
Is it close to like a 3.80 ERA or 4 ERA?
It's probably higher than that now. It's now 9 earned runs, Jim, in 19 innings. 9 divided by 19 times 9. It's got a 4.3 ERA, which again is fine. It's not like he's blown up. It's not like the Matt Waldron.
So what if Dylan Cease at the end of the year?
He's got to be in there.
Is like average, and then you have King and Musgrove and Darvish all pitching amazing.
But he's got to be in there, right?
I think so.
He's got to be. Maybe this is just another blip. He's had a couple of blips over the course of the year.
He has this.
He's like high-low.
He has blips, and then he comes back and he pitches amazing.
I know. It's crazy. You're right.
So hopefully during this quote-unquote blip that he's in right now, his next, like, oh my God, he's amazing stretch is at the end of the year into the postseason.
Darnay Trip tweet. Darnay Trip tweet. Manny Machado is homered. He's now within 3 home runs of, is it surpassing the franchise record for home runs?
I think it's
We're
4,
tying it.
I think 3 tie, 4 to surpass.
All right, so Manny Machado is homered again. He's talked about wanting to break that franchise home run record at home. He might hit too many home runs on the road. He's hit them in back-to-back games. Manny Machado, for the second time in as many days, has homered. Padres early trailing the Cardinals 2-1. We'll see. Maybe C settles into this game and goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs.
Maybe.
And you said an hour ago, we're all going to take that. Work into the 7th inning, allow 2 runs, give the Padres a chance. The one thing about this team, as opposed to other versions of the Padres, they don't care if their pitcher gives up 2 runs in the first inning.
There is, John. 3 away from tying, 4 away from passing.
It's amazing. I mean, and not only is he going to do it, hopefully it's going to happen this year. I'd be shocked if it didn't happen this year. He may still get to the 30 home runs, which we all always question 2 months into the year when he's hit like 3 home runs, and he always gets there. And not only is he going to break the franchise record, Jim, he's going to blow past the franchise home run record over the next decade. I mean, he could have this thing by 200 home runs. If not for Fernando Tatis Jr., he could pass Nate Colbert by 200 home runs.
You don't think he's going to hit 4 and then just peter out?
That's it. 164 home runs. He's out.
He's officially hot, John.
He's been hot. He's got an over 900 OPS in his last 55 games.
But he is red hot right now.
Yeah.
He is leading the way for this team. And as Manny goes, the team usually goes. Having a red hot Manny Machado for the month of September, chef's kiss, give me all of it right now.
Would you start him in the postseason?
I would start. Yes, I would make him a pitcher in the postseason and bat 4th.
You know what he told Kevin AC yesterday?
He can be like Otani.
Yeah, I know. Well, you say Otani's like,
no,
don't even compare him to Otani. He told Kevin AC yesterday, I think it was Kevin AC, that he feels healthy again. Well, he's playing like that.
No, he said that he's going to feel healthy next year.
No, he feels healthy. Maybe not fully healthy, but he said he feels healthy, didn't he? I thought he said did he say he didn't feel healthy?
I thought I read it differently. I thought he said, let me look it up here. I don't know where it's at. I thought I saw
I just feel better, said Manny Machado yesterday. My body is able to do things I couldn't do months ago. When your body is able to do things you can't do, you can bounce back from things quicker.
But he also did mention that he won't be fully healthy and feel like himself until next year.
Okay. But I mean, I just feel better. Yeah. I'm able to do things I couldn't do months ago.
Great sign. And it shows because of what he's doing right now. He is being like the MVP Manny Machado. And that's the best sign. That's the best thing in the world for this team.
The fact that it coincided with him calling himself out, where he was like, I will physically will my body to do things I haven't done this year.
It's legendary stuff.
And for it to actually coincide like that, like flip a switch. And since that moment, I don't know what it is now with this home run, 915 OPS or something for 55 games. And so what is he at 22 home runs now this year? Most of the team.
Yeah.
He could actually get to 30, which is just,
we both said was probably
there's no shot.
Close to near impossible a couple months ago, where like he's got like 8 home runs.
Yeah.
He has like a 620 OPS.
Right.
I mean, what's going on here? You need to get scorching hot. He got scorching hot.
He's gotten scorching hot, and it's true. He hasn't carried the team all year. You know, he hasn't been Jackson Merrill all year. He hasn't been Jurickson Profar all year. It's still weird to look at Manny Machado's stats page at Baseball Reference and see his WAR is sub 2. He's at a 1.6 WAR heading into today. That speaks on the body of work.
Yes.
It's not a 55-game season.
Right.
That's a third of 162 games. It's 54 games. Mm-hmm. So he's had an amazing third. What about the other 2/3? And we'll see about the next 30 days. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he could still listen. If he's anything like this heading into October, I don't care if he's a 2-WAR player because he's trending more like a 6-WAR player. Yeah. If this is who he is heading into the postseason,
and that's what I mean. Truthfully, Manny hasn't had that before, where he has had a postseason where he's hit like 350 with like 4 or 5 home runs and double-digit RBIs, where he just completely takes over and he's near impossible to get out.
Right.
He's had moments, and the 2022 postseason, he had a home run in every series.
Yep.
He was good.
His numbers are good when we look back at him, yeah.
But they weren't like the Bryce Harper year in 2022
just
where it just was impossible to get out. I mean, everything that you threw over the plate, Harper was doing damage. That's how I would love Manny Machado to have a postseason like every pitch over the plate, he just does damage.
Based on what we're seeing, it's at least a possibility. Again, you don't know until you see it play out in real time. But like I go back to our 3:00 hour, you're like, I'll take my chances in the National League postseason with this team.
Oh yeah,
and I do agree. I think there's other good teams like Kyle Glazer we had on. He's like, listen, there's the 4 best teams in the National League. 3 are in the West. It's the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Padres. He likes the Phillies. So you got 4 teams that are probably very comparable between the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Phillies, Padres. But this Padres team has something that is rarely seen throughout the course of a full 162 from San Diego. What they're doing this year is rarely seen.
Which is they never quit. They're always in games. They have the belief that they're going to find a way to win. They have the superstars. They have the superstar rookie. They have it all.
They really do.
They have it all. And that's just not because they're on a really good stretch right now. It's because they truly do have those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like Manny Machado, he's a superstar. Jackson Merrill, he is on his way to being a superstar. He's going to win, in my opinion, Rookie of the Year. You have frontline starting pitching, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Joe Musgrove. You have an elite closer. You have an elite bullpen. You have a manager that isn't this no-name guy, but instead he's a guy that just wins. You have a city and a ballpark that's packed every single night. I mean, you have multiple all-stars on this team. You have big-time names once Tatis is back. You have Bogarts. He's a big-time name.
I agree.
Arise, big-time name in the baseball world. Because
if he walked,
well,
he'd be nationally relevant.
And if only he walked, this team would be
much better.
Much better.
So, again, all the trend lines are amazing. 25-8. Again, it's like you go 9-1. Okay, teams go 9-1. But 25-8 over 5.5 weeks. I mean, that's unbelievable. There's 17 games over 500. It's all over those 5 weeks.
And it's not just going to 25-8. It's about when they're going 25-8. Like if you went 25-8 early in the season, that's great. But we'd be like, okay, there's a lot of season left here.
You could give it back. Yeah.
You're doing it at the exact right time when you need it the most, which is the dog days of August going into September.
Yeah. I mean, 25-8, like if you're like, well, they've had a nice year overall. No, 25-8 is their year. Yeah. There's 17 games over 500. Guess what they are in 25-8? 17 games over 500. Yep. This is their season. And it's great because they've gone on this historic run.
Because they were one game over 500 at the break, 2 games over 500?
One, and then they lost the first game and they were 500.
Right. And ever since then, it's been
25
rocket ship.
All right. Who wants Sheryl Crow tickets? It's actually pink tickets with Sheryl Crow in the script. Wednesday, September 11th at Petco Park. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Caller 6, you're going to see Pink with Sheryl Crow at Petco Park on Wednesday, September 11th. You need to call right now. Our number is 877-767-4760. Call right now if you want to see Pink with Sheryl Crow. Call right now, 877-767-4760. We'll give away Dan and Shay tickets coming up next. Plus, what does the CeeDee Lamb contract mean for a possible extension for Dak Prescott? That's next on Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim back with you. We do have Dan and Jay tickets. We're going to give away coming up in the next 10 minutes. So we've got Dan and Jay tickets to give away. We'll keep you updated on Padres and Cardinals. What a difference a half inning can make after Dylan Cease allowed a couple of runs. The Padres, as they typically do, Jim, responding in a big way. Manny Machado, we talked about homering. They score 4 runs in the second inning to take their first lead tonight.
Dude, I just feel like this team is a freight train that it's going to be hard to stop. It just does. The only thing that's a bummer is that the Diamondbacks are also that way right now.
Right.
It feels like the Dodgers are that way right now. And if all things stay equal, you're going to face one of those teams in the postseason.
True.
Right away. You could go to Arizona. You could host Arizona. You could go to LA. You could host LA. That's just kind of like the only thing that sucks about it. But again, it's I'd much rather have this than the alternative, obviously.
Yeah, where you're just scratching and clawing for a chance to get in and mired in it all season long.
Hey, by the way, the Padres are going to be the best team in the National League for the final 2 months of the season. Oh, by the way, also the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers will be
teams 2 and 3.
Yeah, or 1 and 3 or whatever.
Right.
I would much rather take this than the alternative of, like you said, scratching and clawing to get to 85 wins to make the postseason or 84 wins to make the postseason. Every single day, you're like, oh, with this loss, they're out of the postseason picture. With this win, they're in the postseason picture. Like, no, I want them to boat race teams, and I want them to continue to win at a high clip. And wherever they fall at the end of the season, they fall at the end of the season. But it's much more about them than anybody else. Them right now, they are playing the best baseball.
I think of the analogy where, like, if you win your earlier rounds, you're winning the later round. It's like the Western Conference. It's like if you won the Western Conference Finals, you won the NBA Finals. Coach Jordan, right? You say the West is better than the East. It's so hard to get through the Western Gauntlet. Once you do, you're going to be favored in like the NBA Finals. I'm not necessarily saying that if you get to the World Series, you're favored in it, but I am saying this: it might be just as hard to get out of the wild card round as it would be to get out of the NLCS.
So I get what you're saying, that if they get through
a 3-game series,
say that they have to face the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers in a wild card round in a division.
Yeah, at that point, I'm taking my chances.
And they get
through
those two teams and they're facing, like, I don't know, whoever, Milwaukee. It feels like good luck, Milwaukee. You're about to get a taste of some really good baseball right
Although
here.
it kind of felt like that when they got through the Dodgers in 2022. It's like, if you could beat LA, can't you go beat the Phillies in this scenario? You even had home field in 2022.
The difference between the Phillies is, like, they were the 6th seed on a crazy run.
True.
If the Padres get past the say they do it to face Arizona and then the Dodgers in LA, I don't know if like you're gonna think differently. I don't know if you're gonna be like, man, face the Brewers, or oh my gosh, if they face the Phillies. Like,
I think though, when we went into the Phillies series in 2022, we're like, I mean, we weren't saying they've got this, but we felt like they had as good of a chance, if not better, than Philadelphia to get to the World Series.
It also was different because for the first 2 rounds, they were the underdogs. And then now they had home field and everyone's like, oh my gosh, they're favorites.
Yeah.
And if, say, they had to go to Arizona in the first round of the wild card and they have to go to LA,
it'd still be dogs.
And I know they'd be dogs, but then if they get past all that, say they do, they'll be dogs and they'll probably have to go on the road for the NLCS as well.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how it all plays out. All right, so I mentioned this. We talked about it yesterday. CeeDee Lamb gets the big deal, second richest deal in NFL history for a non-quarterback. Well, what's interesting here is Dak Prescott, I didn't realize this, is entering the final year of his deal. He needs an extension, right, for him to stay with Dallas. He's making essentially $40 million a year. I think it was 4 years, $160 when he signed it. CeeDee Lamb's under contract now long-term. You would think the next shoe to drop would have to be Dak Prescott, right? Like you said before with the NFL, you can finagle money in the NFL. And what are you doing if you're not turning to Dak Prescott in 2025? Like, what better option do you have if you're Dallas? So it's going to be a formality, right? It might not be now. Yeah, it's right.
The words right out of my mouth.
Right.
Jim.
It might not be now, but they're going to get a deal done because that's just how the NFL works, right?
Who is your, this is a completely different topic. Who is your most surprising cut of the day, John?
I think it was probably the dude on the Niners that had that big Super Bowl and the loss to the Chiefs. Not the last Super Bowl, but 2 Super Bowls ago.
I think that
am I right?
So I think that Dak Prescott, I think that what was the question? He's overpaid. He needs to. If they have to pay Dak Prescott, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Wait, if they have to pay him, they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
If they have to
or
pay
if he's
him,
the quarterback,
if both, if they have to pay him $60 million, and
so it has nothing to do with the money because they're already paying him and they haven't won the Super Bowl,
right? But if he has to get another contract and he gets more money, I just don't see Dak Prescott as a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
But you can't walk away from him, right?
You can't. And so you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. Which is basically what the NFL is when you don't have Patrick Mahomes or like these absurd high upside. I mean, Dak Prescott's a high upside quarterback. His regular season numbers are legitimate.
Yeah.
He just hasn't won in the postseason.
Right. And in the biggest games, he always makes that one mistake that costs his team.
Yeah.
So until he can stop doing that, there's not a lot of faith that Dak can win a Super Bowl. This is what's going to happen this year. Dak's going to have a good year. At one point in the season, you could consider him
MVP front runner.
Right, MVP front runner. You're going to have guys like Nick Wright and Colin and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, my gosh. The Cowboys are on their way to actually turn things around. And then the same thing's going to happen in the postseason or down the stretch. Dak's going to, fall short, and the Cowboys are going to fall short. Like, that's just how it works because they're paying these guys this top end money. And so you can't build out a cohesive roster.
And oh, by the way, Michael Parsons would like to have a word, right?
Exactly.
He's going to get paid.
Yeah.
You're going to have all your money in like 3 players.
Right.
Like all of it.
That's why it's so crucial for the Niners to win this year, because after this season, you're going to have to pay Brock. And then you got to get rid of potentially Debo, and you can't pay this guy, and you can't pay this guy. And it's just,
it might have been crucial for them to win a year ago, because we still don't know about this Ayuk deal and if it gets done.
And by the way, while everybody's talking about Brandon Ayuk, the more important player in the team that's not there is Trent Williams. So like,
sure.
I don't know. It's already setting up for a letdown year for the Niners for sure. Just because coming off an crushing Super Bowl loss, you have some guys there that are more about the money than they are about the team right now, when they have an opportunity to do something really special, yet it's more about, hey, I want to get mine, instead of, hey, let's go out and win a Super Bowl because this might be my best shot to do it, which is frustrating from a fan's perspective, because it's not like these guys aren't making any money. They are. Brandon Ayuk got paid $17 million last year. Trent Williams is one of the highest paid left tackles in NFL history.
Yeah. I mean, the 17,
he wants all this money. Like, come on, guy.
Yeah, but 17's he's way underpaid. Because you even went through the math on it. I mean,
he is.
To slot him in appropriately, he'd be making $8 to $10 million more per year.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. From his perspective, yeah. But from Trent's perspective, like, give me a break.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to give away Dan and Shay tickets right now to the first caller at 877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to see Dan and Shay with Jake Owen and Dylan Marlowe Friday, September 6th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info, Ticketmaster.com. Call 877-767-4760. Speaking of the NFL, Chris Hodge, Taking Vegas, friend of the show, will be back with us with free picks coming up on Thursday. We've got more tickets to give away on the other side, plus Jim's back page next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Caltrans. Padres Cardinals, game 2 of their 4-game series underway in St. Louis. Padres lead the Cardinals 4-2 in the top of the 3rd inning there. Manny Machado with a home run on the day. And the Padres yesterday signed catcher Elias Diaz to a minor league contract. Attention California drivers, the kids of Caltrans workers count on you to keep their loved ones safe. So when you see a highway work zone, please slow down, pay attention. Remember that someone's loved one out there. Be work zone alert.
All right, we've got more tickets to give away. We'll do it within the next 10 minutes. We've got tickets to give away to see Train with REO Speedwagon Tuesday, September 10th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Giveaway after giveaway. Give everything away. We have train tickets. We'll let you know when to call for those tickets. We've talked about being scoreboard watchers here recently with the Padres playing so well, with the season inside 30 regular season games remaining. Now, remember yesterday, Diamondbacks off, Dodgers off, so the Padres picked up a half game. Now, tonight, you may be wondering about the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks like I am. Diamondbacks will play at 6:40 at home against the Mets. Dodgers will play at 7:10 at home against the Baltimore Orioles. And then the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks meet for a 4-game series beginning on Friday.
And that the Diamondbacks Mets game and that series.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to do it, but you kind of want Arizona to put the Mets out of their misery here by taking care of them, right?
No.
Because if you have the Mets play well against the Diamondbacks, then they're right back in it.
The Mets are 6 games behind you. You're 1 game behind Arizona.
Okay, you're right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, you're right.
I would say have the Mets win 2 out of 3, and then you win 2 of the next 3, and you've picked up a game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That to me, now I do agree with the sentiment. It's not a bad thing if what you just said plays out. I just think it's a better thing if
it's only
the opposite happens.
If you're Atlanta, then obviously you want Arizona to win that series.
Definitely.
You're right. Padres are 6 up on them.
I agree with what you said about the Dodgers. Like you've been saying, like I'm not rooting for the Dodgers unless it actually came down to you need the Dodgers to win with 3 days to go to then win a division.
That's the only scenario.
I don't even know if that could play out this year. That's not likely.
They have to be behind you.
Yeah. It's not likely.
It was a situation where like you're trying to get the 6th seed and you need them to beat X team in order for you to do that.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to root for the Dodgers this week against Arizona.
No chance.
But again, in that hypothetical, there's like a game left. You need them. You need them to get a better seed or to win a division. Then yeah, I think I understand it. But these are all big. To your point, I mean, these are good teams. Arizona and the Mets, Baltimore and LA. Like these aren't pushovers. All these series are massive series. And the weekend series, this Arizona LA series, if the Padres keep doing what they're doing, it has massive implications. It really does.
Huge. And you look at the Diamondbacks this year and how they've gotten it done. It's kind of like, how have the Diamondbacks gotten it done?
Been amazing in the second half.
They don't really have the greatest pitching staff. Jordan Montgomery, one of their big offseason acquisitions, has been god awful. I think Marte's on the IL right now.
Is he right now? I know we've talked about that.
In a way, Arizona's kind of like the Tampa Bay of the National League.
Eduardo Rodriguez has only made 3 starts for them this year. That's it.
Yeah, that was another big acquisition.
Another $100 million pitcher they signed. Yet, Torey Lovello, I mean, just whatever he's doing there, it's working in a huge way. Jock Peterson has been amazing for them. It's incredible, dude. It's incredible. They also have, I think, I'm looking here. They just called up a catcher recently who has been amazing for them. I forget who that is, but they just are getting it done with whoever's up there for them right now.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on today this Elias Diaz story. I don't think it's overly significant because the Padres signed a catcher yesterday to a minor league deal. Now he was all-star in the All-Star in 2023. I think it speaks to the struggles they've had here recently with Luis Campusano. I think Kyle Glazer has been unbelievably effective for this team. His first year as a Padre, but Luis Campusano has never consistently produced as a Padre. So they add a veteran backstop. I don't know all the particulars, but I do wonder, like, is Diaz going to be your secondary catcher moving forward, or even in the postseason, if necessary, ahead of Luis Campusano?
That's to me
is it? It may be. It may be.
It's not a stretch to think that he be up here in September.
As a third catcher.
Yeah, see what you got. But all of a sudden, unless Campy got hurt, like just abandon him as your backup catcher for the postseason, to me would be crazy to do.
I think it's a stretch. Yeah. I agree with you. I do think it's a stretch.
Like, why change up things drastically when everything's working?
And you're right. You said, well, Kyle Glazer, if you go to the postseason and play 9 games, he's off everywhere. He's going to start 9 games.
He's catching every single day.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Just because I trust him defensively. Offensively, he has the pop, and at any moment, give you a big-time home run. He's a threat up at the plate. He's not somebody that is completely overmatched like Austin Hedges was here. Like, he gives you what you look for from your backstop. And same thing with Campy. Like, Campy's turned into a really good backup catcher. We didn't know Higgy was going to be this guy. We all kind of thought it was going to be reversed with Higgy being what Campy being what Higgy is, and Higgy being what Campy is. Instead, it's reversed.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Luis Campusano is still only, how old is it? 25 years of age. You think the 25-year-old in his prime would get the lion's share, especially late in the season. That has not played out that way. And then Kyle Higashioka has truly put together the season of his career. Let's see, how old is he now? He's 34. So the 34-year-old is way more often than the 25-year-old. That's not how the Padres envisioned it.
No.
When they traded, and they wanted Higashioka as a valuable secondary backup catcher. And they've gotten more than that, which is a good thing. But they didn't think Campusano would take the back seat of Kyle Higashioka. That's how it's played out here. And they just rode that hot hand.
Exactly. They all thought it would be reversed, where Campy was going to take the reins here and be this team's everyday starting catcher. It just hasn't worked out that way. And, of course, injuries played a factor as well. And Higashioka just took off, and he had an amazing stretch there where he was the team's hottest hitter.
15 homers in 193 at-bats. Yeah. 15 homers in less than 200 at-bats. He's homered over like 12 at-bats. He's just had an amazing year. He truly has had an amazing year. All right, so we're keeping an eye on St. Louis and San Diego. That was the Padres and the Cardinals from Busch Stadium. Padres trailed early. Have now taken a lead 4-2. They're trying to start this road trip 2-0. There were some people yesterday saying, well, hold on. If you're going to use Robert Suarez in a 4-run game, what if you need him tonight? Well, they have enough in their bullpen. That's how we looked at it. They won yesterday. That's a good thing. They've got a 4-2 lead late in this game, and they got to figure it out. That's why they have the bullpen they put together.
Another thing, going back to Iggy, what he has that Campusano does not have is experience in the postseason.
Okay.
So that also plays a huge factor and a huge role.
What's he done in the postseason?
Well, 2020 with the Yankees and 2021 and 2022 with the Yankees. He's played not a lot of games. He's only played 9 games in the postseason total, but still 9 more than Campusano.
Yeah. No, that's
offensively nothing to talk about, but he does have postseason experience with the Yankees, and I think that plays a role in that as well.
Yeah, even has played a championship series as recently as 2022. I think it's a good point. I think if the season ends, I think Kyle Higashioka, to your point, is going to be the starting catcher for every game. And unless someone proves, unless someone challenges him for the final month, it just hasn't played out like that. Mm-hmm. If Campy gets high, he goes long slumps. We've seen it now multiple times this year where he can hit the side of a barn. Got an RBI tonight. All right, maybe he can now hit the side of a barn. Truthfully. Okay, so we'll keep you updated on that. By the way, here's the deal for Saturday. Okay, Jim's going to be there, Snapdragon Stadium. We have tickets to give away for San Diego State Wednesday and Thursday. So tomorrow and Thursday, we'll give away San Diego State tickets to Snapdragon Stadium. Our pregame coverage is good. Do you even know where pregame is going to be?
It's going to be Snapdragon Stadium,
but not where we normally are.
There's only two spots.
Wrong. Where do you think? Then where do you think we could be? By the ticket office or by like the team store? All the way behind the yellow line, where the new River Park is the new Warrior Walk, where the team is coming in. We'll be tailgating all around. There's all these green spaces now. You have to see it. It's by IKEA. So in that corner is where everything is happening in 2024 series. So like there's this crazy Warrior walk. That's where San Diego Sports 760 will be set up for pregame with Fletch and JR. It's all new. Like, and I hadn't been there until yesterday. You need to see this space. It's an incredible space. Like it's so much green space. I didn't even know it existed. So it's by the River Park. We'll broadcast live from 3 to 5, and then the game, of course, is 5 o'clock. Again, we have tickets to give away on Wednesday. We have tickets to give away on Thursday. And right now, for the first caller, you're going to see Train with REO Speedwagon. If you call 877-767-4760. 877-767-4760. 2 free tickets to see Train with REO Speedwagon Tuesday, September 10th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info, Ticketmaster.com. Again, the number to call. First caller has these 2 free tickets, 877-767-4760. Jim's back page. That'll come your way next. One thing we didn't know, because earlier I'm like, yeah, Dylan Cease. Yeah, he's kind of struggled with this later. I forgot to mention it's 1,000 degrees in St. Louis, and he's sweat through his entire uniform. It's a factor.
Okay.
He is sweat through his entire uniform. It looks miserable. You said the heat index was in the hundreds.
So maybe we shouldn't take too much from whatever happens tonight in his outing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I hope they win this game. Both teams are playing in it. So it is what it is, but it just looks awful.
When you're playing in this heat, you're going to expect the ball to jump off the bat.
Well, I just feel like it's tough to pitch when it's 100% humidity and 100 degrees out.
Tough to pitch. It's easier to hit. You get the ball in the air. You more often than not catch a jet stream, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't hit that ball well. It's 14 rows deep.
Right. So again, it's just something to consider. I think his next start's going to be in Tampa, which will be inside on Sunday. But again, Padres Cardinals well underway. Padres a 4-2 lead right now in the third inning. All right, let's get to it.
You like Skittles, right?
I mean, I guess. I don't not like them.
Freeze-dried Skittles are coming to stores, John. I don't really know what a freeze-dried Skittle is, but Skittles is coming out with a sour and original flavor that will be out in early 2025 for freeze-dried candy.
Is that like when we used to have like astronaut ice cream?
Yes, John.
Is that what it is for Skittles?
Yes.
Did you ever have that, Jim?
No, I never did.
You never had astronaut ice cream?
No.
You need to get out.
It's pretty much like Dippin' Dots.
Okay. It's good. I think it's good if you're a kid.
Because Dippin' Dots was freeze-dried,
Right.
whatever the hell Dippin' Dots
Ice cream
are
of
made
the
out
future.
of.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway,
2025.
Get ready, everybody.
Right. Just months away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like now I should do like a daily, closer to every like beginning of weeks, do a daily crumble cookie update for like the crumble cookies of the week.
Oh, because they change.
They
so
change
often,
they change every week.
Mm-hmm.
There's new ones every week.
Well, here you go. Unlike regular Skittles, which are soft and chewy, freeze-dried Skittles have a crunchy texture that provides a satisfying crunch with each bite.
Mm.
And they get that through the freeze-drying process.
Tasty.
Very tasty. Crumble Cookies has a big test week with 3 new desserts and the first test cookie in a while. These are available in select stores this week. They will likely roll out nationwide in the months ahead. Here are the new cookies and dessert items at Crumble Cookie.
Okay.
Pink velvet cake.
Sounds great.
Strawberry lemon sandwich cookie.
Okay.
Pecan pie.
Cool.
And a pumpkin brownie cheesecake.
That sounds really good.
100%.
I would like to try that. Yeah.
I need that right now.
It sounds really good. Yeah.
I want to get.
You love crumble cookies.
Have you ever crumble cookies?
They're so good. Yeah, they're
Dude,
huge.
oh
They come in their own box.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They're amazing.
Call them. Let's get them on the air.
Okay.
Jim's back page presented by Crumble Cookies.
I like that.
Right?
I like that. The Olympic Topps card with LeBron, Steph, and KD on it, like the 1 of 1.
Yep.
That is, I mean, everybody wants this card.
Couldn't you only get it by entering almost into like a raffle? We were saying,
yeah, and it raised like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Now, Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo is the latest to make an offer for the Topps Now 1 of 1 triple autograph card featuring LeBron, Steph, and Kevin Durant.
How much?
Giannis simply wrote $150,000. I need that card. Like in a post about this card.
Can you imagine having 150K just to like tweet it out? Like, yo, I'll give you 150K for that.
The card probably won't physically be in any collector's hands until mid to late September. And I don't know if the card is going to be sold for $150,000, by the way.
Well, you don't think it's going to go for that much, or you think it's going to go for more?
I think it's going to go for more.
Me too. Now, is this the type of card when you get it? Is it already in the case? Is it in like one of those like screwed in cases from day one to keep it in the?
Oh wait, yes,
it better be.
Yeah, it's in a case, a Topps case with the signatures on it. And I would suspect that
it's got to be in a, I don't know, special case to keep it in pristine mint condition.
There's already been offers for the card for $250,000 and anywhere up to $500,000. Wow. The only caveat,
I wish I had that.
The only caveat to any deal is that all 3 signatures must secure a PSA 10 or BGS 10 grades in order to really be worth like $500,000.
Wait, so you're saying that if the signature wasn't pristine, if there was like a smudge on the signature, it's going to lower the value of this card, this one of one?
However they determine the signature's grades, then yeah, I guess if the signature isn't,
that would suck.
Like a good signature, it's not going to be rated a PSA 10 or a BGS 10.
Either way, you're getting $200K for this.
It is in a case too. You're wondering.
It is. Okay,
yeah,
so it's got to be.
It's got a case thing on it. Yeah.
All right.
So there you go.
That's Jim's back page.
Also, did you see this? The Yukon Huskies, John, are implementing an NIL collective with football field sponsorships.
Yeah, it's on the field, like at the 25s.
Yeah.
They're like Stores something.
Stores Central.
Yeah.
At the 25-yard line.
I think it's creative. I think it's good.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get more NIL money, we'll give you spots on the field.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to promote it, right? They're basically saying, hey, here's the collective. And now it's on national TV. You see it on the field. It would be like, yeah, if Aztec Link was on the field, right? Or Mesa Foundation was on the court at Viejas. We'd say Mesa Foundation or whatever. I like that. What do you got?
I'd rather have that than QR codes on my helmet.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Like Oklahoma State. Yeah.
A little less tacky.
Right.
So there you go, John.
That's the back page. I like it.
Yeah,
I do.
What's happening in this game? Oh boy.
I like that a lot. What's happening in this game is that the Padres are still leading. How many pitches?
Cease looks like they dumped the Gatorade cooler on him already.
He's wearing long sleeves under his uniform because he just pitches with sleeves on. A lot of pitchers do, but it's 100 degrees out. So is that backfiring here? I don't know. He's thrown a lot of pitches, but he's allowed just 2 runs in 4 innings.
Everything's fine, guys.
Got out of it again.
Everything is fine. By the way, tonight we will have a wrap-up show for you at 9:30 following Padres Cardinals. And then again, we're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. with Aztec tickets to give away. We're getting closer. By the way, the first Sean Lewis show on San Diego Sports 760 is Thursday at 6 p.m. You can stick around. Coach Lewis, Thursday at 6.
I'll listen to it on my way home.
Okay.
What's the over-under that Jim forgets to put it in his updates on Thursday?
Yeah, put that in there now. Right, scroll down and put Thursday, Sean Lewis show with John Schaefer and Rich Ornberger from 6 to 7 right here on San Diego Sports 760. That'll be Thursday. So the odds are high. To your point, the odds are probably pretty high. But yeah, we have our first Sean Lewis show coming up this week. We have actually tickets to give away.
It's in the rundown, so there's.
But will you read it?
There's 0% chance that I'll forget that.
It's in the cart.
I like it.
Yes,
I like it. So a couple of good days coming up here on San Diego Sports 760. Again, the Aztec ticket giveaways. We'll get you ready for NFL Week 1. We're a week away come Thursday. Chris Hodges on the show on Thursday as well. So we're inching closer. By the way, Thursday is a huge day, in my opinion, because it kicks off basically Week 1 of college football.
Who plays Thursday, John?
Colorado, North Dakota State.
Oh, big matchup.
Is a huge game. It's probably the game of the night. There's a couple of others, Minnesota, North Carolina, of course.
Of course, you
know that.
So you're less than a week out. Do you have the whole roster memorized?
No. No chance. I don't memorize numbers.
Okay. No. I didn't know if you're doing like flashcards at home, like 87.
I have some flashcards for skill positions, but I'm not a number memorizer, so we'll figure it out on the fly. I'll have a spotter in the booth.
Are you excited about UCF in New Hampshire?
On Thursday night?
Yeah.
No.
How about...
It's no Hawaii, Delaware.
How about Missouri and Murray State?
No, the 2 games of the night are Colorado, North Dakota, and Minnesota, North Carolina. Full slate.
How about Utah versus Southern Utah?
Battle for state supremacy.
San Jose State versus
Sacramento. True TV, I'll watch that. All right, if you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. You can find us, of course, on social media at Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM. We'll see you tonight on YouTube with the wrap-up show following Padres Cardinals at 9:30. We're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. with more Aztec football tickets to give away. For Brent and Jim, I'm Jon. Keep it here. It's San Diego Sports 760. Ciao.